Hey, my truth seekers, how are you guys doing? Welcome to my live real talk with your girl, Lady D, unapologetic and nine by. Sorry about this delay, just trying to make sure that I get everything straight before I get into my show. Again, welcome to Real Talk with your girl, Lady D, unapologetic and nine by. So go ahead and give me a second, trying to make sure that I get everything together, then I can go ahead and get on with my show. But the topic, as you can see right here, we going to pray. Yes, we're going to pray for Martell Holt, and not only Martell Holt, also his family as well. Now, I don't know if all the stuff that is being reported out there, if it's true or not, which I don't know why these people getting these information, but they are saying that Martell Holt, he's an inpatient at a psychiatric ward. And we're going to go ahead and say allegedly when it comes to all this stuff right here, because you already know, especially when it comes to these YouTubers, they wants to see the downfall of this man, which I just don't know why, because like I said, he's not the first and he's not going to be the last. And that's real talk. But the thing about it is like they have something on this man. I don't know if they're trying to use him, just like I had said a few months ago. You know, they are using him as a sacrificial lamb. And the reason why is because they know that they can benefit off this name. But let me go ahead and pull this right quick. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and get into my commentary. And again, guys, all this right here is alleged. And like, I don't know where these people getting this information from, because if he was an inpatient at the psychiatric ward, that right there is a confirmation. You know, that right there, you know, is like you breaking a HIPAA law. So I don't know where these people getting this information from. They can be sued and everything else when it comes to stuff like this. But let me go ahead and play this right quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and get into my commentary. Again, guys, welcome to Real Talk with your girl, Lady D. Make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content.
Hostile. This is a hostile environment. Swim. You can make it. Pull up against the pull of gravity. You can make it. You're down, but you don't have to stay down. You can get up. You are of God, made in his image and after his likeness.
Cry if you must. Rest if you must. But the worst thing you can do is quit. When you want something bad, you can't count the cost, because if you count the cost and you see how much it costs, you might give up. So you got to go in knowing that I don't count the cost. I do as many reps as it takes.
Okay, guys, I see my girls in the house, Nicole Givens. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and drop the mic to see if she can come on. She say, why is Queen Lady D facts violation of the HIPAA law? Absolutely. And I know for sure HIPAA don't play, especially when a lot of stuff had happened, you know, in my place of business with my home health, how a lot of stuff was taken out. And I promise you, they don't play when it comes to these patients' information. So they have to be careful. Be careful of what you put out. And most of this stuff right here, you know, is these small content creators are putting this stuff out because they trying to draw viewers and to get, you know, some type of attention. But all this stuff right here, as you can see, it's going to come to a dead end. Like I said, you know, you never win when you play dirty. Never win when you play dirty. How are you doing, my girl? Nicole? Nicole Gibson, Givens. I don't think
I'm
she can hear.
sorry, my mic was still muted. Good afternoon,
Okay.
Lady D. Thank you for
How are
having
you
me on your
doing?
panel, ma'am.
You welcome anytime. Anytime you are welcome. So how are you doing?
I'm cooking Sunday dinner in the process, cooking it real slow off work. So I'm glad I finally caught you. I love watching your show, ma'am.
Thank you very, very much. And let me go ahead and acknowledge. I see Darla Faye is in the house. She says, hello, Lady D, and everyone in
Good
the chat.
afternoon, Miss
Thank
Darla.
you. Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming on, Darlene. And Starbucks Lover says, welcome everyone back to Real Talk with Lady D.
Good
So
afternoon,
guys,
Miss
again,
Starbucks.
welcome to Real Talk with your girl, Lady D. I'm glad to have Nicole on.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and we're going to try to break all this right down, because when it comes to mental health issues, it's nothing to play with. It's nothing to
Yes,
gloat
ma'am.
about. especially, when a person is going through. And I don't care if you don't like a person, nobody deserves this right here. So what
No,
is your intake when it comes to this right here? Hold on one second again, Nicole.
okay.
I see Bertha is in the house. How are you doing, Bertha? Bertha Raymond, she says, hello,
Good
ladies,
afternoon,
blessings.
Miss Bertha.
Yes, indeed. So go ahead, my girl.
Well, when I heard it, Lady D, it really hurt me because I'm just gonna be completely honest. Like I tell you, I'm a very transparent person, but I try to do it in a respectful way, ma'am. When I was married, even though my husband was very hard worker, very good provider, I have to give it to him. That's about, one of his best qualities or only best qualities. But when the school called, right, he would always be like, he would cuss me out. What the F is the school calling me for? That's your job. So he was never really involved in day to day. He thought going to work and providing was all he had to do. He interacted with our children. It was very minimal. So, they always voiced it to me like, Mom, Dad's never here. Dad's never here. And I would explain to them, we're Dad and I are going through things and he doesn't like me to discuss it with you guys, but just pray about it. Ask God to, let Dad spend time with you. And I mean, even through growing up, I think we only went on, well, he and I would go on vacation, but he's only taken them on vacation twice. And they're all in their early 20s now. My stepdaughter's, of course, she's older. She's in her mid 30s. But what I'm trying to say is when I see a dad, because we all have flaws, that is trying and everybody is not perfect. People are not perfect. We're all made perfectly imperfect. Okay. So I feel like when I see a dad trying, to me, even though we can comment, I feel like he deserves credit for that,
Hmm.
if nothing else. And to hear the public say, and I was listening today, it was just very heartbreaking that these same people who, tend to be or say they're so God fearing are saying he deserves this and he needs treatment or he's just doing it to receive disability. I mean, I heard all kind of stuff and it just was heartbreaking. So I pray that Mr. Holt gets into a better space so that he can be the best parent he can be. And I say that about anybody who has children, that are still raising minor children. I pray that, whatever God chooses to do, that he, gets him to a point where he's strong enough to raise his kids. And I pray that God will remove a lot of this negativity from YouTube. And I feel like somebody's giving them that information because that's not usually public information. Nothing
Not at
medical is
all.
released publicly. So there's somebody that's leaking this information. I hope God lets them reap what they sow. But I feel like
Absolutely.
it's very shameful, Miss Lady D. That's just
Absolutely.
my personal feelings, ma'am.
Absolutely. You are right on it. You are right on it. I see
Thank
where
you.
Dollar Face says, my thought as well is definitely a crime. HIPAA privacy law are real. I got Martell sued because this is so wrong. And absolutely, this is so wrong.
Yes.
And one thing that I do know when it comes to HIPAA privacy, they does not play, especially when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
inpatient. They does not play at all. And if
Mm-mm.
anyone is leaking that information, I'm pretty sure that they going to find out who is the person that's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was watching some old videos that you and I and Logical we was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Yes,
title
ma'am.
was "Sheep for the Slaughter." And I really think, when it comes to Martell Holt, they wanted to make him the face of DV. They wanted to make him the
Yes.
face of DV,
Yes.
and you know how they treat us anyway. You already know how the black man is counted like
Right.
sheep for the slaughter, and they
Mm-hmm.
was trying to pit that picture, while lifting up,
Of
paint
course.
that picture while lifting up
Mm-hmm.
somebody else. But like I said, you never win when you play dirty, and
No.
sooner or later, God is going to reveal all this stuff. And I just pray, that all this right here is not true because it's not worth
Mm-hmm.
it. He got a lot to live for. He got his children. And one
Exactly.
thing about me, I'm the type of person, Nicole, I don't
Mm-hmm.
gloat over no one's downfall because I
Me
look at
either.
it. It could be them, and tomorrow it could be you. And when it's
That's right.
you may not be able to handle it. I see Rhonda
Exactly.
Elf is in the house. She says, "Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon, ma'am.
everyone." And also, Starbucks says, "Please support this channel if you are enjoying the content." Cash App, Real Talk 985. please, guys. Or like I say, it won't cost you anything. Just make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and share these videos for more unapologetic content. And also, Darlene Faye said, I hope he sue and go the legal right route with this. And I hope so, because
I
they
do
want to
too.
set boundaries. They have done a little too much, and
Yes.
enough is enough. And also, if I'm not mistaken, Nicole, I
Hmm.
think what's her name was gosh, I can't even think of her name. She was one of the she was a part of Love and Marriage in how Huntsville, and now she's stepping down. What's her name? Big
Uh,
Big Blue
you
wife.
Tiffany.
Tiffany. I
Tiffany.
think she says a lot of stuff when it came to the fans was affecting her as well. Where
Yeah.
down, you
Yeah.
remember that?
In fact, they said, one of the bloggers had stated uh yesterday that there had cast members, Lady D, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I was kind of rushing on my way to work. I'm off today. Was saying a lot of those women, other women, got death threats. I said, you
Wow.
know what? I'm gonna have to lay off the show and just listen to you guys review it, Lady D, because they were saying that she left because her and another cast member received death threats from
My,
these people. I
my
had no idea it had gotten that serious.
My God. Well,
That
you
is
can
so
see that,
sad.
and that's why I think that Call is King, because we already know that Mel, she's not ready to let it go. She want to keep
Right.
fanning this fire because, like I said, they benefit off of this. They benefit
Mhm.
off of this. But if I was Call is King, because like I said, everything of all this stuff that is going on is attached to his name, to his brand.
Mhm.
I will
Exactly.
go ahead and I will put this show on hold until they see some of this stuff, and let Melody,
Mhm.
I will give Melody an ultimatum. Even Melody go
Mhm.
and she talked to these fans publicly and tell these
Right.
fans, you guys hit and below the belt. Keep it on topic. Stay on what's on this show, not what's going on behind the scene and
Lady D, can I
digging
be
in people's
transparent with
personal
you?
business. Let me say this right here: digging in
Okay.
people's personal business,
Right.
and going and try to sabotage you. That's right there. That's
That's what
to
I
me
was
is
gonna
a little
say,
too
ma'am.
much.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead. You can go ahead.
What I'm gonna say to you, because I can always be honest with you, and I hope that whoever watches the channel doesn't get nasty because I'll send them back to Seventh Avenue.
Go ahead
When
now.
a woman feels scorned and instead of asking, my grandmother was married almost 50 years. Instead of asking, and she always told me you can tell a man's if a man's happy by how often he's home, right? And my husband wasn't home a lot, so I didn't make him happy. He didn't make me happy, but I'm just, I'm not trying to act like I'm perfect. But what I'm saying is that a lot of times women don't ask themselves deeply, what am I doing to make him behave this way, right?
Hmm.
So when you get scorned, you get upset. And how I kind of know is because, you know, I mean, my husband and I were separated and he dated somebody and I lived with someone. And it was not a big deal because we stayed married primarily because he didn't want a formal child support order. And that
Hmm.
was it. So who he dated, as long as they were polite to the kids and the kids knew they could call me and he knew that, my kids could call him and there was nothing they couldn't tell or express to the other parent. There were no secrets that were going to be kept. It was not a big deal. But when you keep, not letting the public disparage the other parent that way, it's because you're not doing it directly, you're doing it indirectly. You want to punish this person because they've moved on with somebody that you feel hurt you. That's just
Hmm.
my opinion, though, Miss Lady D. I could be wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. And a scorned woman, I mean, and absolutely a bitter woman, they
Hmm.
are tear the whole house down. As you could see, you saw,
Right.
and Tasha K went ahead and she put those. You saw where
Hmm.
Melody. This is not alleged. Melody
Right.
wanted to unalive everyone that was in that house. We
Hmm.
don't know who was in that house, but just
Right.
say that the kids was in that house. We know for sure Martell was in that house. She wanted
Right.
to unalive everybody in that house. And
Yes.
now they wants to sit there and give Martell a psych evaluation. I think she should go as well because we saw her behavior. I see butterflies in. Let me go ahead and let
Hey,
butterfly in.
butterfly, come on up, girl.
Hi, butterfly.
During a custody battle, Lady D, they ask for both parents to give a get a psyche eval though. That's just standard.
Hey,
Yeah.
hi, lady.
Hey,
Hey,
butterfly.
Nicole.
Hey,
How are you doing,
how are you?
Butterfly? You there?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Yep. I'm.
Well,
I'm. I think I have
I
a
know
bit of
your
a
channel
delay.
is doing all right. I know your channel is doing all right. I've been
Yeah, I
seeing
have
you,
to watch her
girl.
newest video. I saw it. She dropped one yesterday. I have to watch
Yes.
that.
Make sure you give a quick shout out before you go ahead and
Oh,
get
yeah.
into what you have
Okay.
to say. Come on, give us
I'm
a
sorry.
shout out. Tell
Say that
everybody about your
again.
channel. Tell everybody about your channel
Your
before you
channel.
get
Oh,
into it.
yes. Please, y'all. Check out. Yes, y'all. Please check out my channel, Butterfly, the original one. But the official name is Butterfly's Corner. I probably should change, my name so it'll be easier to find. But
No, it's
yes,
okay.
y'all, it's Butterfly's Corner, and I actually created channel to combat the imbalance and the toxicity. I absolutely think it's unfair, and for the last 5 years, I don't like bullies, and
Me
I think
neither.
it's really unfair. A lot of the stalking, harassing, doxing, sabotaging that has been done to the rest of the cast members. I just find it very unfair and delusional and deranged.
Well, what
So
Absolutely.
people need
yes,
to do as a group is to start
that's
reporting the
I
channels
think
because there's been
balance that
one
out.
that's been I've been reporting all week. If I hear somebody talk about somebody's racial features and call them
Absolutely.
names, and this lady has never done anything to any content creator personally, I report the channel. I'm going to make YouTube watch every video because I feel like to disparage someone who's done nothing to you based on what you see on television is sick.
Absolutely.
I really do
Absolutely.
feel that way. I think it's
Well,
just, I think
now,
you're
how about one
disturbed.
even better, Nicole? Right. Right. How about even one better, Nicole? The new
Hmm.
season ain't even started. So what they're
Right.
going off of and what I realized, in fact, I'm trying to wait for my new upload because
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep following the bullying and the cyberbullying and them trying to destroy Stormy's business. What I
Right.
realized
Absolutely.
is after that
Hold your
girls
thought.
trip,
Hold your thought 1 second. Hold your thought
it
1 second,
somehow got
butterfly.
leaked that
Butterfly, hold
yeah,
1 second. Butterfly, hold on 1 second. Starbucks lover says that we have only 10 likes, but yet we have over 30
You got
people that's on
bushwatchers, Lady
there.
D. They're not going
Yeah,
to hit
yeah.
the like.
Come on and hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. If you are in here watching, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead, Butterfly.
Yes. The conclusion I came to is she definitely went in that Patreon allegedly and told them
Hmm.
people what happened on that trip. Even the dog whistling with putting up the post about how her face was like she was, giving that meme mug like delusional
Hmm.
face, like she didn't know what the heck was going on. And then for
Right.
Shanita Foster to come back talk about slapping and all that, right? I
Hmm.
already figured out the reason why they ramp back up trying to attack her business is because Stormy still, which I'm very proud of her. This season,
Me
she's
too.
going to address everything that she's been going through with this
Hmm.
bullying, the derangedness,
Right.
the fans trying to destroy her business because it's really deep.
Right.
It's really deep. We don't even know the half of the
No.
stuff they have done behind the scenes to this woman and her business.
Hmm.
And I really believe that that's what happened on that girl's Mellow Mutt leaked it to her little flying monkeys, and that's why they got
Hmm.
reactivated on trying to discourage her business. And what I also find about these little deranged, evil beings is they're out now that Kyle came out, Stormy's businessman. They have a problem that he's white, but these are the same
Right.
people that just prior to that was sharing a video of white girls disparaging Stormy's business.
Right.
Make it make
Right.
sense.
I saw that.
And these
I
are
That's
saw
the
black
that.
part I didn't
men
like.
making
I didn't
fun.
like that.
Yeah. And these are the same black women making fun of Stormy's black features. Make all of this
Wow.
make
Right.
sense.
That's what
Now
I
they're
said.
trying to race bait. Now they're trying to race bait and have a
Hmm.
problem that Kyle came out and that he's white. But they didn't have no problem sharing them white girls' video trying to disparage.
Hmm.
It's and I told you they
Right.
contradict themselves and they try to have it both ways. They're like
Exactly.
their master. They're trying to be very manipulative. And if enough of
Mhm.
them put out enough videos to, mess up the algorithm,
Mhm.
if people try to look up Stormy Still's business on YouTube, they'll find all these
Mhm.
nasty, disgusting, deranged, vile people disparaging her
Right.
business. But please, y'all,
Right.
please, 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 y'all, don't fall for the race bait. Don't fall
Mm-mm.
for the race baiting. You can't sit up
Can
on
I
your
ask you a
platform
question,
and
Lady
make
D?
her black
Go
features
ahead.
and then have
Mhm.
How do you think? Do you?
with,
Okay,
yeah.
don't people send you things all the time? Like you don't have a camera where you're actually going to Alabama and checking out people's clubs and so forth. Wouldn't you think logically that someone is actually feeding them this information or this information is leaked by whomever?
Absolutely. It always be
Okay.
like that. It's always be an inside job.
Mm-hmm.
And I pray that the Most High God be able to reveal that, because how in the hell
Right.
that you would know that this man is an inpatient at a psychiatric ward,
Right.
and also Melody had the kids for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Make it make
You see what
sense.
I'm saying? Right. And then there was another content creator who made a remark about something that another woman allegedly said about her kids. How will we know that?
Thank you.
So it's somebody in somebody's camp is leaking this information because the content creators aren't TMZ. Y'all not following people around with a video camera, but it's insulting to my intelligence to act like you guys are just pulling this out of the air or the atmosphere. Somebody's leaking this information illegally.
Absolutely.
It's a violation of
Absolutely.
HIPAA laws.
Absolutely. Bertha says, I'm not a lawyer, but what I look up seems that use SC 18 subsection 2261 can use to deal with the cyber stalking and bullying in addition to violation of the HIPAA.
That's right.
The hurt and the harm is prevent already. And
Proven
I
already.
absolutely know. Yes,
She's
it's
very
proven
smart.
already.
Yeah. Because
Absolutely.
I just watched a video before you came on where there was another individual that you commented on, Lady D, that you called, referred to her about her mouth. I'm going to retract the statement. You've already said it. Whatever you've said has already been damaging previously to this lady's business or
Mhm.
about Mr. Holt. It's already been said. There's video after video. So if they choose to go ahead and file suit, it is what it is. It's too late to make a retraction now. You've made 50 videos.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And the thing about it, the part that
Mind
I
you,
do like is that
hold up,
the
so
part,
mind you, there's a year and a half worth of videos of them going after her
say it
business.
again.
Let's
You're
keep
breaking
that in
up.
mind.
Go
There's a
ahead.
year and a half of videos they're attacking her business.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh,
So it's too
oh.
late for a
I said
retraction.
there's a
I
year and a
mean,
half
yeah.
of them making videos.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is.
I
But
mean,
this right here, this is horrible, guys. This is
it
horrible,
is.
and I think that it's time for Call Us King and the ones that behind the scene executive. I think it's time for them to stop, because most of this stuff, like I said earlier, it's not happening on the show. It's happening
Mm-mm.
outside the show. And
Right.
when you start attacking these people personal business, going
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, just like Butterfly said, and flooding these people business pages out and giving them bad reports,
Right.
that's right there. That's enough, because we already
Well,
know
Lady
when
D,
the
there was a
reality
content
show.
creator. I'm gonna
Oh,
send you
let me
her
say this right
video.
quick. Yeah, let me say this right quick. The reality show is supposed
Okay.
to be for entertainment, and this is not entertainment. This right here,
No.
this is dragging people livelihood into the mud. Now, what you were saying,
Yes,
honey?
ma'am. Well, I'm gonna send you a video because this morning there was a content creator who specifically pulled up where these people lived, what they were doing before the
Wow.
show, and all that. I mean, she went deep into these people's business early this morning. I'm on
Recently?
my way from work. I couldn't believe it. I'm gonna send you the video.
I
I'm
hope you're
sure it's
not
still
talking
up.
about the same person that went to Stormy's facility, and don't mention her
No,
name.
not her. Not
Oh my
her.
God.
It's a larger content creator who basically came up with the idea regarding the legal fund. Okay. She
Mhm.
went deep this morning. I mean, the video's long, and I found out a lot of stuff and she was like, I can release more. It's true, where they lived before, what they were doing before the show, all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, if you say the people are, not who they say they are, I'm not going to use a certain word. Why watch the show? You're watching the show to ridicule and make fun of people. If I feel like what I'm seeing is not what it appears to be, I'm not going to sit there and try to pick at it. I'm just not going to watch.
That's it. If I don't like something, I'm not gonna watch. Let me go ahead and address some of the comments. Michelle Hardrick, she says, "Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon, ma'am.
beauty at lady and butterfly in chat." Good afternoon, Michelle, and thank you for coming. Be a part of our live. And also, Rhonda F says exactly. It is as if the show never ends. Dollar Face says no one leaked anything, and everything we're gonna say is alleged. But Melody Cherie, she's the sneaky link here. Period. And Melody, she could stop it. Melody,
Right,
stop it because most of these people that doing the most is the melanuts.
right.
Paula also says because Melody told it to her minions, that's good. They know, that's horrible. That is sad. And
I
what's
mean,
the
if you're using process of elimination, and that's why I love talking to you, Lady D, and I love me some butterfly, because you guys are critical thinkers and you can analyze what you're seeing. Who else? I mean, you guys are, it's not been published in a paper or online because that would be a violation of HIPAA laws, right? So who else would know this? His family's not going to call the content creators,
Mhm.
and basically discuss, personal business. They haven't before. So it's got to be somebody from a camp that's close to him or that would know his business.
Mhm. That's horrible. That's horrible, especially when you have to tear down everybody in order to
Hmm.
one
I
person, and
agree.
nothing good is going to come out of this.
Nah.
Nothing good is going
Mm-mm.
to come out of this. But the thing about it is to sit there and gloat over this black man's downfall. It can't
It's
get no
hurtful.
lower than this. This cannot, because this
Right.
man has children.
Right.
This man has
Right.
children, and the thing about it, his children are very articulate, very smart, and they
Hmm.
could talk to the judges, and they would tell the judge exactly what's going on. So, like I said
Right.
there and say, they have to be careful of how they say
Hmm.
trying to destroy this black man because you don't know what these kids will tell the judge, especially when they know that when they go to their dad house, they got a hot mail, they got a
Right.
lay their head in, and they don't have all this drama being
Hmm.
from pillar to pole.
And
And I'm
whatever, you issues you have with the other parent, it shouldn't be privy to the public. And I mean, I've had licensed therapists tell me this during my divorce, as I've shared with you. It stipulates in the filing papers that there is an ad litem. My son was 17. I couldn't even believe they appointed an ad litem, the person that comes and speaks on the kids' behalf in court. We were not to even go on any platforms or say anything disparaging about each other, period. Or else my custody and his custody would be removed and he would be placed with my mother or father. And this boy was 17 years old. He's an adult now. But what I'm saying is that how is this in fact been? I mean, you have professionals telling you that anything negative on platforms or even to other family members, neighborhood, disparaging the parent's reputation is very psychologically damaging to children. So, what kind of parent are you to not comment on this or to ask the public to stop this? I question your parenting.
if I'm not mistaken, I think
Well,
Butterfly
we
had
know why she ain't gonna
used this
stop. We
term.
know why she go back
Butterfly,
beating it
I think
back.
you had called
We
it.
know why
Hold
she
on,
ain't gonna stop.
Butterfly, put your mic on. Put your mic on. I don't think Butterfly got a mic on, but I
Mm.
remember when Butterfly had called it payola. All this doing is about money, all about money,
Hmm.
and just tearing down each other just for money. And they use Martell Holt as a scapegoat. Go ahead,
Right.
Butterfly. Butterfly.
Oh, hold on. Yep, I'm here. I'm sorry, I had to unmute. Absolutely, it's all sympathy and payola. It's all
Hmm.
sympathy and payola. At the end of the day, without Martell and what he did to her, she wouldn't be
No
nowhere.
story.
That's why she
Right.
can't move on. You claim you move on.
Hmm.
They claim she's so happy. They claim she's so glowed up. Why are you celebrating the day that you left something that you glowed up from?
Right.
Your
You
past
would.
should be just
Right. It's
that,
your
your
past.
past.
Exactly.
It should not be getting any type of attention if you technically move on. The way I feel about it is she still wants that man. And they can
Mm-hmm.
She's
scream,
hurt.
kick, shout all they want that she don't want that
Hmm.
man. What I see
Right.
is that she put herself in a bind where she cannot get back with that man. And not only can she not get back with him, she's allowed these people, because she needs their money, because she's building her brand off their back. That's how
Hmm.
slow they
Right.
are.
Right.
That's it. That's
They
it.
think she's doing something for them, but
That's
all they
true.
doing, she's just building her brand off their back. That's it.
Right. Now,
She's
let me say
using
this to
them.
you, Lady D.
You
You
know
know
what
what
I'm
I
saying?
noticed?
It's
Because I'm always on
manipulation. It's all
Amazon. You
manipulation
know,
and magic.
Stormy's products are on Amazon, CVS. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
I got my daughter some of that hair serum, and it wasn't even on clearance. It's like her whole set. Everything of hers is even on Amazon,
Absolutely.
not just in CVS. I don't see anybody else's stuff on that show on any other major platforms. In fact, before I even knew who she was, my girls would be like, "Oh, Mama, that Hollywood beauty stuff is no good. I need my canvas. I need my canvas." So I was always at either CVS or Walgreens buying it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't know what it was, because I'm a woman of a particular age. But my daughter was like, "Mom, I guess she uses some kind of oil or something for her edges." And she said, "Mom, can you go on Amazon and order it and I'll pay you for it, when I get paid next week?" And I said, "I'll type in it." And it's sure on there. All her stuff is on Amazon.
Absolutely. And my
I
daughter
haven't
had
seen no
Stormy
Fifth, Sixth,
products.
or Eighth Avenue nowhere like
Absolutely.
that.
And absolutely. And my daughter had Stormy's product and didn't even know Stormy. So that's just to
Right.
show you Stormy Ben was out. We may have not put a
Exactly.
face to it, but Stormy name
Mm-hmm.
have been out. But also
Right.
see Starbucks says, remember that if you want to come up, guys, yes, please. On the panel, I'm not talking about you guys because I know you guys.
Yes,
Uh
ma'am.
you and if she doesn't know you,
Mhm.
you have to carry them up in the back so Lady D can see who you are. Thank you, Starbucks. And so something I want to address, I see Michelle Hardridge says yes, totally agree, because
Mm-hmm.
these innocent little kids are the ones that will suffer because that is still their father that they love,
Exactly.
and that's absolutely true. And at the end of the
Exactly.
day, it's all about the children. It's not about these
Right.
grown folks that's
No.
acting like children. Put your differences aside. Like I say, when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to the love of money can be the root of all evil. And I see
Yes.
Quinn Kane say she don't know how, I guess, our life came down her time screen and stuff like that, which, like I said, if it's in the algorithm, quite obvious you're going to get it.
Right.
But she also says that she finds it disparaging that Stormy to question whether Melody was private laboring or white laboring her products. Who want to take a crack at that?
What was she saying again?
Well, she
Lies,
said she did not find
lies,
it
and more
disparaging for
lies.
Stormy
Stormy
to
still
question
can
whether
say
Melody.
anything and direct it, and if it
Mm,
wasn't directed, it shouldn't have been respected. They are full of
right.
crap. They are always trying
Right.
to find an excuse to cover up for the nonsense that they do. They're full of crap. Stormy ain't never said nothing disparaging about Melanie's business.
No.
What they like
And
to
I'll
do,
say
what
this.
Shanita Foster, Melanie's friend, said, is make things up in their head. Make things up in
Well,
their
I
head.
will say
See, what
this,
they can't,
and my
like
parents are
Melanie,
attorneys.
they got to make
If there's
everything
no
about her. They got to
exact
make everything
chemical
about her.
composition,
Butterfly, hold on a second. Butterfly, make sure you listen in your mic. You heard me? You could hear us in your mic? Butterfly. I don't think Butterfly can hear us.
Now I can. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, you can hear us?
if
Okay,
they,
You know
okay.
let
what?
me
I
just
think
say
I'm
this
a
real
I'm a
quick.
drop down.
No, you don't have to
Yeah,
drop down. It's
Don't
just
drop
making
down.
I'm
sure.
gonna drop down and
No,
come
don't
back
drop
up.
down.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay then. All right. Go
Because
ahead,
let me tell
Nicole.
you, Lady D, if you're accusing someone of white labeling, right?
Hmm.
And you're stating that they're buying something from a particular distributor, right? And the ingredients don't match the same as the ingredients that you're accusing them from buying from. Do you know that is a guaranteed lawsuit? And that's
Absolutely.
also, you can also get in some legal issues for that as well. But you can, if you're falsely accusing someone of buying or manipulating, or how can I say this, purchasing a formula from a distributor, and that formula is not the exact same chemical composition as the formula from the distributor, meaning you're saying that Stormy's allegedly doing this and you can't prove it, I mean, even down to the amount of the ingredients. They can even be the same ingredients, but not the same amount. Chemical composition. Do you know that's a guaranteed lawsuit?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's these small content creators feeding off of what someone is feeding to them because they don't know nothing about this
Right.
right here. They
Or else
don't
they
know
wouldn't say
nothing
it.
about the products and worrying about the chemists or anybody
Right.
that distributing where they getting it from. They're not worrying about that. All they
No.
just doing is feeding off of what somebody is giving them, and they bringing it to us so
Hmm.
they can try to sabotage this girl's business.
Right.
And also, I saw where Butterfly was saying,
Exactly.
about Melody wants Martell. I don't really think, this is my opinion. I really don't think that Melody wants Martell. I think that Melody only wanted what she can get out of Martell. And when she figured out
Hmm.
that now she can make her own money and she can build it off of her pain, then she was going to continue beating that dead horse until she couldn't beat it no more. That's
Right.
how I saw it.
I wonder
Hmm.
what the storyline gonna be
I can
now.
understand that because I also want to say that I believe that. Dang, I done lost my train of thought, lady. I was gonna
That's
say
why I
that
don't stop you when you
I can
talk.
understand you seeing it from that angle. Yep. Okay. Um. I can see it from that angle too, but I honestly believe she wants him, and because she can't have him, she don't want nobody else to want him. Her whole thing
I
is to make
agree.
sure he's humiliated, make sure he's shamed, make sure that nobody else mess with him. Prime example, they went and dug this woman. What was her name? Sandra something. They went and dug her out of nowhere and started inboxing her, telling her, "Oh, you shouldn't mess with Martell. He's abusive. He's this, that, and the third." My issue is, if he's no longer with Melanie, why are y'all pressed about who else may be entertaining him? As long as
Hmm.
Melanie isn't entertaining him, why are y'all worried about who
And,
is entertaining him?
and ma'am,
That's
let me
why I'm
Absolutely.
say
under the
something.
belief
This
and
lady's
have him or
telling me
don't want him.
why I
She don't
support
want
him
nobody else to have
Hmm.
from
him.
one of the comments you put up, you posted, Miss Lady D. Okay, let me
Hmm.
say
You
this.
talking about which
First of
one
all,
you
you're
talking about?
ignorant.
Classic Key? You talking about Classic Keys?
Yes. First
Okay.
of all, that is so ignorant because secondly, both of them, I guess we're supposed to disregard the Tasha K video footage we saw. And let me just be very graphic. Martell asked her when was the last time she performed an act. And she said
Hmm.
about 3 years ago. Nobody talks about that. Number one. Number two, distributing private images would fall under a videotape. He has not been charged with that. Number three, when you talk about uh, whatever that video entail, whether it exists or not, it was done in the during the marriage. So I'm not going to comment on anyone's marriage because I was raised better than that. But I will state that you guys act like she is the only perfect person on planet Earth. If I were to ask you, Classy Keys, one thing she's done wrong, I bet you couldn't name it. So
Not at
please
all.
don't come over here insulting me and telling me how to think or trying to berate me based on my opinion. You're welcome to feel however you feel, but I'm not over here trying to disparage you or to bait you into an argument because I'm going to say I
Absolutely.
said what I said. Sorry
Absolutely.
about that, Miss
And
Lady D.
calling someone ignorant can get you blocked, okay? Because you can
Oops.
talk about these people. I'm talking about no, I'm talking about Classic Key. She's saying you all are ignorant. Calling someone ignorant
Okay.
in here, you can be blocked, okay? So make sure you keep it on topic, okay? So like I said, it is what it is, okay? If they can
Anybody's
change
parent
it,
who's in an inpatient facility, if you have any kind of a
You know
level of
what?
humanity about you, you should feel, basically have that person in your prayers. If you have any level of humanity in you, I wouldn't want any child's parent to be in that position. But that's just me. It could be Martell. It could be anybody.
me
I wouldn't
too.
want to see any child's parent to be in a low state like that, especially if I was the other parent. I would have a problem with that being leaked if I was any kind of mother or father.
Hmm. Well, if she did, Classic Key, I apologize for that. But still, of all, you don't call. You said you all don't call nobody ignorant. Okay, like I said, you have a right to your opinion, but you're not going to sit there and attack anyone on here because in here is grown folks. I don't know about Butterfly or Nicole, but I don't know these people from a can of paint. Okay, and some
Me
of you
either.
guys don't even know them either. You see them on the street, honey, on fire. Some of them wouldn't even pee on your tail to put it out. Okay,
Right.
and that's real talk. Michelle Hardred says also, why interfere by tearing down opportunities for himself, trying to work to provide for himself and his children? He's not tearing down. He's going out there and he's knocking down doors. It's just that these haters, these content
Exactly.
creators, these
They keep up.
stalkers, they are the
No, no,
That's
ones
right.
Lady
picking
D.
up
She's
all
not
this
saying
mess.
he is. She's saying that's what they're doing to him.
What you
They
Yeah,
said?
are.
no, she's saying that's what they're doing to him.
They are.
Doing
They're
what?
doing
Lady
that to
D,
him.
no, the comment you just said, she's saying that's what they're doing to Martell.
Yeah,
She wasn't saying that's
down.
what we're
Yeah.
Yeah,
doing.
yeah, tearing down. Yeah, I'm not talking about
Mhm.
Michelle. I'm talking about Classic Keys when she has said you all are ignorant. Yeah,
Well, I mean, she
but
can.
Michelle
I
Hardwick.
Oh.
know what I heard. I know what I saw.
You know what?
And
I'll be
anybody,
ignorant because I guarantee
me
you
too.
Classic Keys sitting half of them ignorant other content creator places. So if I'm ignorant, girl, we all ignorant then. How about
Mhm.
If
that?
you're gonna have any decency about you,
Because y'all come over here,
classy, whatever
y'all
your
don't like
name
the
is,
opinion. Y'all want to go back and forth like
why
you
would
gonna
you want to
change my
see
mind.
anybody's
My mind is
parent
made
in
up.
a
Like you said,
Uh,
facility?
she said, my mind is made up.
Butterfly, you're talking over Nicole. I don't think
It's
you can
okay,
hear.
Lady D.
Okay,
I'm just
go
saying,
ahead.
if you had any level of decency about you, based, you know, take your personal feelings about an individual. If you have any level of humanity, and all of them over there claim to be Christian, why would you want to see somebody's parent in a psychiatric facility, except for them if they are in that position? I don't know for certain, except for them to get stronger and get the level of assistance they need to be a better parent for their children. I don't think that's funny or anything to berate someone about at all.
Go ahead, Butterfly. You're
That's
absolutely
ignorant
right.
to do
You're
that.
absolutely right. Go ahead, Butterfly. Butterfly, you there? I think Butterfly is having problems with
Hold
her mic.
on. I'm here. I had to
Go ahead. Yeah, go
oh
ahead.
shoot. I'm here. I had to, yep. Yep, I'm here. I had to get my charger.
Yeah, go ahead. You had said something.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you
Yes,
now.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, I just you know, it's just unnecessary. I mean, I think nobody else can have an opinion. Yeah, the issue I have with the slow meters is nobody else can have an opinion. Their opinion is like it got to be edged in stone, and if you don't agree with them,
Hmm.
then you're ignorant, you're a hater, you're jealous. You know the
Right.
same old tropes that they try to throw because you don't agree with what you see. Like said,
Right.
I don't like drinking the Jim Jones Kool Aid.
Hmm.
Okay.
Can I empathize with what she went through and in her marriage? Fine, but that's not gonna negate the character that I
Oh,
see that she has.
I'm sorry,
Period.
Miss Michelle.
Hmm.
I
Oh my
wouldn't want
goodness.
my sons to ever run into a Melanie. You understand? I would never want my sons
Right.
to run into a Melanie. But
I agree.
they
Absolutely.
But I
both was
feel
young
like
when they
this.
stepped into that marriage. They're both responsible for the
Absolutely.
demise of that
Right.
marriage. And like
Right.
said,
I
the
agree.
only people that's gonna end up hurting this is the children.
That's
But at
it.
the end of the day,
That's it.
they both can play this game of trying to paint one to the other, but these kids are gonna grow up and start seeing things for themselves, how they feel, how they felt in the
Hmm.
midst of all this. Because even their parents, both of them, Melanie and Martell, forgot about how this is affecting them. It's all about what each one of them want. But I will say
Right.
this, and call me ignorant, but that man love his children. What I do
Yes.
know,
Yes.
everybody keep trying to, cover up is what was said about Martell from season one. Even out his ex-wife's mouth.
Right. I
He's
heard it.
very hands-on. He loves his kids. Even his own mother
Hmm.
said it.
Yes, she
Oh,
did.
his own mother
Yeah.
stated what her issue was. And Melanie and Mellow Buddy thought she was going to check his mother. I love the way his mother
Hmm.
stood on business
She
and
sure
said, keep
did.
me blocked.
She sure
And I
did.
said what I said, and I meant it. She normally try
Exactly.
to do what she do to everybody else. She tried to get in their face and manipulate them. And she was not
But
able to
like I
do that
said,
to Martell's mother. Martell's mother
if
spoke the truth.
if
Everybody
you
that
don't have a
knows him, because
problem with
my
it
thing
being
too at
leaked,
this, them kids are very, very young.
smart, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you as the other parent don't have a problem with something that personal and that sensitive being leaked, it I would have to question your parenting. Because to me, I feel like just for the sake of my kids, even if I don't like the other parent, which I don't, there are certain things that he's gone through privately that I wouldn't want my kids to be privy to, because I would think that that would make my kids, it would distort their perception of the other parent. That's for them to be adults and to make that decision on their own, right? So
Absolutely.
if you don't question the validity of this information being leaked, I would have to question the other parent and be like, why would you want this to get out? I mean, kids walk around twirling their hands around their forehead, making remarks in school about the other parent being, disturbed. So why would you want that out? You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? I mean, I'm just saying, Miss Lady D and Butterfly, that,
Absolutely. I want to go ahead and I can't bypass this right here.
That's
Michelle
what
Hardred
I
says
told you.
that
The
I'm
I
kids are
so
lost
not
sorry,
my
being
Miss
thought
husband.
Michelle.
about. And
Hold on one
let's not
second.
forget, she
Butterfly.
watched this whole.
I think Butterfly. Butterfly, you might. Uh, Michelle Hardred says, "I lost my husband in 1997 to the S, which we already know what we are talking about right now.
Right.
When my children was young, and that was the hardest day of my life.
I'm so
The
sorry,
S.
Miss Michelle.
Yes,
My
I'm so
condolences,
sorry to hear
ma'am.
that. Yes, we give our condolences, and like I said, this right here is no laughing matter. It's
No
nothing to be
laughing
joked
matter.
about it
Mm-mm.
at all. This stuff is real, especially when it comes to the black community, knowing that,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's time for us to, get evaluated when it comes to stuff like this. Some of us don't want to go, because we think
Right.
that we're weak when we have some type of mental issues and
Mm-hmm.
for fun. And to me, when I see these other content creators, they are poking fun, of this man. If it is
Mm-hmm.
true, that's horrible. That is
What if
very
he's in the
horrible.
hospital and he's listening to this?
Yes,
First,
yes,
they wanted to talk about how he needed help. If he's in a position where he can receive help, how's he going to receive help with all this negativity surrounding him? I just want to ask one of them that. I really do. Y'all been saying for months, he needs help, he needs this, he needs that, he's this word and that word, as far as diagnosing people psychologically, which is also illegal and it's a form of slander. But because you're not licensed or certified to be throwing, diagnosis out. You're not a diagnosed clinician. But anyway, if he does get wind of this, how's he going to get better if he constantly hears this negativity on social media? I
mhm,
mean, I just don't expect how they want him to improve if he's in fact in that situation with all the negativity being, thrown at him. And to me, as the other parent, I would be like, look, if my kids are already going through enough, can you please respect the privacy of the family at this time? But that's not even
absolutely,
being said, which questions, I have to question how it was even leaked to begin with. And I'm going to keep
absolutely.
saying that.
And someone need to go ahead and do an investigation to see what's going on. That
Okay,
was
I know that's right,
Martell.
Nicole.
I will go ahead and get an attorney.
Nicole, can I just
Also, let
say,
me
Yes.
go ahead and say this right quick, Butterfly. Classic Key has said that
Thank you, Miss
she
Butterfly.
apologized. She apologized
mhm.
to us all. Okay, so
Thank you,
it
ma'am.
is accepted. Yeah, it's accepted. Go ahead, Butterfly. Butterfly,
um,
you can go ahead.
also, dang, lady, I'm here. Um, my thing is, Nicole, I love you. You know
You
why?
too,
Because,
Butterfly.
girl, why you gonna ask the question you know the answer to? You ask these people this. You ask them people why they think it's okay. They're gonna give you all these lame excuses, all the
Hmm.
propaganda that this lady has been putting out
Right.
since season 2 about
Right.
why they think this is okay. They really
Hmm.
think this is okay because they think this was done to her, which
Right.
she sat on Dr. Heavenly's platform and said that she was never abused, and she's not a woman that would sit around and take abuse. So
Right.
now we're backpedaling and pee popping and claiming that
Hmm.
she was abused. Like you can, these people, you already know what time it is. You know what
Right.
time it is. And like I said,
Hmm.
I also believe, this is
Hmm.
my opinion, that this campaign that she really revved up in these last couple of years to get full custody of the kids is because she trying to exploit her own goddamn kids. Why are they
Yeah,
pissed that
she
they
wants
can't
to.
post this
Right.
woman's kids? Why is she
Right.
so eager to put her kids out on social media that can be very cruel and vile? And she knows that because she used that aspect of social media.
Well, you know, Kim
Why?
Kardashian's mom
Why
is
would
a
you want your
Scorpio,
kids
right?
on social media? Why do you want these
Right.
deranged sick people?
I think you're having
Yeah,
mic
yeah,
problems.
she is. Right.
Butterfly,
You want to
butterfly. I
expose your
think you're
own
having mic
mind.
problems.
This one of their gripes too. Oh, he can have it. Oh, okay. Oh,
I think
sorry.
you're having mic
This is one
problems.
of their gripes too. Oh, you know. Uh,
Butterfly.
can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah, I
ma'am.
think you're having mic problems.
Yep.
I
Can you
hear
hear
some
me?
echo. I hear some echoes in the
Oh, okay.
background.
Hold on.
See if, yeah, see if you
Hold
can
on. Let
mute
me
your
see if
mic
I can
and
try
see
to
if it's
fix something.
you.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Second.
Go ahead, Nicole. Let
Well,
me go
I
ahead
was
and
just making a
let
joke.
me address this right quick.
Go ahead.
Michelle Hardred says to this day, your mic, Nick Butterfly. Go ahead and mute your mic. Michelle Hardred says, to this day, my daughters are 43, 41, 40, and 39 years old, and they still hurt for their dad. I am praying God to heal the situation, Mel and Martell and their children. And that's
Yes,
absolutely true
ma'am.
because, like I said,
Exactly.
at the end of the day, these children going to be hurt the most. And these children love their parents. And no way
Exactly.
in the
Like they're
world
supposed
that
to.
they should let strangers
Right.
interfere into what's going on in their household.
I agree. And like I said, I know personally, going through a divorce and, trying to keep your kids have questions and you just tell, I've had to tell them, I'm not going to say anything about your dad. I'm going to refer you to him because I don't want to influence your decision about how you perceive the other parent. I think that's wrong. But I
Mhm.
will say this, I feel like whoever's leaking this, is very vile and it's just very, negative and they're not taking into account how the kids can be bullied based on, this information getting out. And I just feel like it's just hurtful to me. And anybody who has any humanity, a level of humanity about them, would want to find out who is putting this out,
Absolutely.
seriously. And it just makes, if the other parent doesn't question it, it just, I don't know. It makes it clouds my perception even more than the
Absolutely.
lighter fluid because at this point this is serious.
Hold on. Hold on. Can I please answer Alicia?
Go
Yeah. Can
ahead.
I answer Alicia? Why
Mhm.
should she quit when she formulated the whole show? Quit. Quit. What?
Qu-
Quiet for foods? Quit for foods? No, she should quit because she was so much in distress.
Right.
If her mental health and all of this stuff that she was claiming was so affected, that's why she should have quit. So she could
Yeah.
be the parent that she needed to be for her children. That's why she should
Right.
have quit. This ain't her show. Her show got ditched. Carlos King
Right.
picked up and she threw out something and it didn't stick, and Carlos King took it and ran with it. It is his show.
Right.
And plus, she got her own network. Hello, Alicia. Ain't they been bragging about this network?
Hmm.
Why can't she produce her own shows and take it behind over there and put it on her network that she need to be building so she can get revenue out of? Alicia,
And maybe
that's
that's
Absolutely.
why
why
she should
OWN
leave.
didn't show it. Maybe they assumed that she was
She
going to
seemed to be the
upload
one
it
to
on
get
her
into it with
network.
everybody. Everybody else is the bother. Alicia,
Butterflies.
miss
Step
me.
out.
Miss
Butterfly.
me,
Butterfly.
okay,
Hold
boo?
on.
With that
Hold on.
narrative. Miss
Show
us
it.
with
Hey,
that
hold on one
narrative,
second.
Alicia. I hope that
Butterfly.
situation.
Bu-
I agree.
Butterfly.
I agree with you.
Is this my mic or is just butterfly mic is messing up?
It's she's kind of going in and out,
Uh, bu-
to me.
oh, wait. I think her mic is butterfly. Butterfly.
No, there's a delay, Lady D. There's a
Yeah.
Lady D. I
What
mean,
you
Lady D,
say?
there's a delay. Yeah, I've been shut my mic off. I was on mute. There's a delay.
Hold on.
There's
Let's
a
see what mic
delay.
it is because it's not a good live if the
Is it
mic is all
mine?
messed up. Mute your mic, Nicole.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was. Wait. Let me see. Somebody's mic. Hold on. Let me see. Unmute your mic, Nicole.
Yes, ma'am. It's unmuted.
Go ahead and say something.
Okay. Um, I
I think it
agree
was
with
your.
you,
Go
Lady
ahead.
D.
I think it was your mic,
I'm sorry about
Nicole.
that. Let me
Yeah,
turn
it
it
is your
down.
mic. Yeah, it is your
Okay.
mic. It wasn't butterflies.
Is that better for you?
Go ahead.
No, I
I
just feel
still
like,
hear it.
like I said, I feel like at this point,
Mhm,
this is a serious matter. And I don't think a public platform is where it should be addressed,
mhm.
regardless of how the public perceives that each parent was treated. When it is a matter that's this serious, I just feel like it should be a private family matter. I don't even think people, have the right to discuss it. But they're going
Mhm.
to, say what they want to say. But this is just my opinion. It's a sensitive issue. If she were
Absolutely.
in that situation, I think the outrage would be real. They would be jumping down people's throats for saying, telling about where she was or what she was going through. I don't think she would want her personal information out. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
it's a sensitive
Michelle
time.
Michelle Hardrick also says, right, I would never subject myself or my children to be exploited, airing out my personal business on a reality show for money. I would have quit and walked away. And that's
Yes,
where
ma'am.
I think they had messed up at, because if you know that your marriage was already trash, it was already toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you pitch that on the show? And that's to show me, and everybody else that talked about it. It's like, it was clout chasing, because if you know
Mm-hmm.
that your marriage was toxic and you know that you had all this stuff going on, then why did you pitch that show? Sorry about that, butterfly. I don't think it was you. I think it was at the time it was Nicole's mic.
I'm so sorry,
You still
Butterfly. I
there?
apologize, ma'am,
That's
because I
right.
love to hear you talk.
Yes. Go ahead, butterfly. Mute your mic, Nicole.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh
Butterfly.
yes,
Oh, I can hear you good. Go ahead.
no, yeah, I think I'm just yeah, I think I'm just delayed, so I'll try to make sure I wait a few seconds when I hear somebody talking before I start talking. But I think it's just because the bootleg phone I have,
Mhm.
so I think I'm gonna be delayed when I go to speak. But yes,
So what do you think about what Michelle Hendricks says? She says, I would have never subject my children to exploiting, airing out my personal business on a reality show for money. I would have quit and walked away. Do you think that, this is where is all, this stuff is coming out because they aired out a toxic relationship, knowing that most likely they already had split it up, knowing that all the stuff was going on, but yet they wanted to chase after almighty dollars.
well, I would say she wanted to chase after the almighty dollar. Martell did it because that's what she wanted to do. At the end of the
Absolutely.
day, absolutely, because you got to remember the ether that we're in. None of this stuff is ever going to go away. Once it hits the internet, it's there forever.
Absolutely. It can't go
But her
away. Whatever in
greed
that is
and her need to be famous, she sacrificed her family.
said.
And I'm going to keep
That's it.
saying it. She
And he did
sacrificed her
say
family
when
for
the show
money
came
and
on, it was supposed
fame.
to be a home improvement where they flipped houses. And then
But that was a
Carlos had a
lie.
different idea. And Martell said, I don't want to do reality TV because I want to keep my wife. He was saying that there's a rumor out, or just a saying that people say that when you do reality TV, it's not good for marriages. So he told Carlos, no, I don't want to do it. I want to keep my wife. But he decided to go ahead and proceed because that's what she wanted to do, according to him. I
Mhm.
forgot where I heard him say that. I don't know if it was an interview he did with Carlos at one point or if they were on a podcast. I forgot. But,
Yeah.
it wasn't, the show wasn't, I guess, supposed to show anything but focus on the business aspect. And then,
Mhm.
it was driven or taken into a different direction when, infidelity was brought up. I'll just leave it at
Absolutely,
that.
and this is exactly what Alice Evans says. This is true. She says the show was pitched as black excellence, but it's not showing that for some people it's pitching scamming. Did not sacrifice her family. Martell did by strain,
And
but
he made a mistake, and he
yes,
doesn't deserve to pay for it for the rest of his life, though.
that's
I've
it.
made the same mistake, but do I
That's it.
deserve to pay for it for the rest of my life?
Absolutely, absolutely. But the show was pitched,
And
because
also,
all the
ma'am, I
black
would not be
entrepreneurs to come
tolerating
together.
slander of
That's
the
why the
stock
show was
or
put
anybody else
together.
on the show as being considered scammers. Because if we gonna call people scammers, Melanie's a scammer too, Alicia.
I'll second that.
So
Mhm.
if the show is full of scammers, include your homegirl. She's a scammer
Yeah, how
too.
you gonna take up $100 collections without being a registered 501c3, meaning a charitable organization that the IRS endorses? So that doesn't look like upstanding behavior to me, especially from someone who is college educated. I'm assuming they knew that, but they were trying to act like other people didn't know.
Mhm. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Kevin Moore says this is a public platform. People needs to look at some matters as a teaching moment instead of persuasion. Let me see what it says. Persuasion and uneducated opinions. People are from different backgrounds and sometimes unequal. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen you before on the
Yeah.
other channels. And like I
Hmm.
said, sir, that is in fact true. But
Hmm.
I'm allowed on a public platform to state my opinion. Just because I
Hmm.
don't agree with the masses doesn't mean I don't have full right, Mr. Moore, to state my opinion. So yeah, I've seen you over there, and that's fine. But again, it's my perception and my opinion. And I'm not being rude or nasty or negative about it. So I appreciate that you came in like a mature adult without hurling insults. But again, it is a public platform, and I do have the right to disagree as long as I do so respectfully.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the other thing about it is, I think it's more of the fans are the ones that's trying to put Martell and Melody into some type of mess, just like they doing with Stormy and Melody. Anybody they try to go ahead and say, oh,
Mhm.
they hate Melody, but Martell, all he wanted to do is be co-parents, on the show, just like that scene when they all, had lunch and Melody, she went
Like
ahead
I
and
thought that
she
was cute. Yeah, I
you
remember
remember
that.
when she switched the script? She went to she switched the script and she had Martell, wondering what's going on. We supposed to
Hmm.
have this scene where we come in together. The producers or whomever told
Hmm.
me to bring you some flowers, and before you know it, everything turned sour. So I think that she was only using him as a scapegoat, to make herself look
Hmm.
bad and make him
But
look like a
that
villain.
also the bitterness came out because, like I said on another platform, I think I was on Auntie Marcy's channel, and when I
Hmm.
said to Miss Marcella, I was like, okay, if my kids, for example, my ex-husband didn't buy sweets, right? He just wouldn't do it. He can cook, but he would not buy anything sweet except fruit. They would call me and say, Mom, can you order this off Amazon Fresh? Because they know I'm an Amazon person. And they would ask for it. He would tell them, ask your mom, I'm not buying it. And I would send stuff over there for them all the time. But I would not, as a mother, if I thought that there was any food insecurity, how would I look sending my kids over there for a whole week if I knew that it was possible, if I was the only one that was capable of supplying food? What kind of mom would I be to send my kids away for 7 days? You see what I'm saying? So I knew that their dad had food, but they didn't always like the type of food that he had. So, and that was mainly junk food, and I would send stuff over there, but I definitely wouldn't send my kids over there if I thought that, I had to be the sole supplier of food, because I know a grown man eats more than my kids do. And at some point, they're going to be low on food. So before you come insult somebody, ask yourself what it looks like first. Everybody's not
Absolutely.
going to fall for the same narrative.
And Allison says a critical thinker does not think cheating is a mistake. No, cheating, but the thing about it,
It is
cheating
a
is not a
mistake.
crime. And it's not a
According to the word of
crime.
God, it's a
Yes.
sin, right? And a sin is a mistake when you miss the mark of God, according to you guys over there. So
But the
it
thing
is a
about it,
mistake. Anything that's not done correctly or that violates the Lord's commandments is a mistake. That's what a sin is. It's when you miss the mark. And again, I committed the sin of adultery, but do I deserve to pay for it for the rest of my life?
not at
Do I
all.
deserve a life sentence? Yes, there is public scrutiny. My husband and I, like I told my kids, I'm gonna be straight up. We weren't the house. We played house. We told our kids straight up. We played house, and we apologized for our kids having to witness us playing house. That was wrong. That was not a good model for a marriage. But do I deserve to pay for the rest of my life and go around and disparage him and make him pay for the rest of his life for what we both done? We're all imperfect, and we've all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Romans 8:38.
But
So, Lady
let
D,
me,
I'm sorry I had to
yeah,
interrupt, but yeah,
yeah.
I made a
Let me,
mistake and he did too. But I don't deserve to pay for the rest of my life.
absolutely. But let me just say this right here. When it comes to cheating, it's all depends the definition of cheating, because first of all, you have to do the history, especially when it comes to our history, African history. It goes way, way back, and now that we are what I call European standards, we call it cheating, but in some parts of country they does not call it cheating. And also had talked about, and I saw some, I played some videos, and also I had read some books when it comes to Shahrazad Ali. When it comes to cheating, if you are in a relationship more than 2 years, and you pretty much, you should know. And if I'm not mistaken, Ariane was in that relationship for like half of their marriage. And you trying to tell me you didn't know that your husband was stepping out on you? So you don't call
Exactly.
it cheating. You don't call it a side chick. You call it a sister wife, because you should have known after 2 to 3 years that you had another woman in that relationship. And still evolve when it comes to cheating. Like I said there and say, it may not be for you, it may not be for me, but still evolve. It's not a crime, and that's real talk. Oh, go ahead.
Right. It's not illegal to
No,
do
it's
that
not
in this
illegal.
country. Right. But again, to me, it's not a crime to try to work on your marriage. But at some point, if you know you're going to be angry and bitter, it's not good for the children to see that. So, we were told, look, it's not good for you guys, by older people, my
Yeah,
parents, it's not good. You need to
I'm
separate.
gonna dial back to the her needing to send food with the children. And this is how diabolical they are. They sabotage you. Hold up, you're sabotaging every opportunity
Your mic is breaking up.
that he has to be financially stable.
We can't hear you. Your mic is breaking up, Butterfly. Butterfly, we can't hear you, guys. If you can hear Butterfly, or it's just
She's
headphones.
kind of coming in and out, Miss Lady D. She's
Yeah,
coming
she's
in and
coming in
out.
and out. Let me go ahead and read this while Butterfly go ahead and fix a mic. Michelle Hardred says, I commend you and your ex-husband. That was very mature of you both, Nicole, because with corrections, some growth, and hashtag grown women behavior. Absolutely.
Thank you,
You
ma'am.
know,
I'm just
yes.
saying, when my kids would have, Mom, you did this, and it's your fault, this, and Dad, how kids try to get their input about how we could have made the marriage better. And we tired of going from your house to his house, and they were complaining about different rules at one house than the next. And I said, guys, I understand your grievances, I really do, but me and your dad were not the house. We played house. So we hope that when you guys get married, you take what you saw and say, I'm not going to do A, B, C, and D. I'm not going to date other people or live with other people while my parents are married. It confuses the kids. Or I'm not going to argue in public and make a spectacle out of myself like you and Dad did. I mean, we would just, even the older people, like, y'all say too much around them kids. So it was better when we separated. We had to learn to communicate effectively so the kids wouldn't be upset and have anxiety issues and depression issues. And once we separated and me and him got on one accord, because the courts made us, they were like, both parents don't agree on what goes on, because we were still legally married, but we went through mediation. Then the answer is no. So the mediator made us work together in a positive way. So we weren't constantly going at it about curfew time, this or that. The answer was, if one parent says no or doesn't agree, then the answer is no. So we had to talk with each other and kind of come on one accord. But I will say this, I was very upfront. We were both very upfront with our kids. So I tried to do that. I admitted my mistakes. I don't ever want to come across on these platforms like everybody else does. A lot of content creators want to come across like they're so perfect and pass all these judgments on people, because nobody is perfect and everyone's made a mistake. But I don't think Martell Holt needs to pay for the rest of his life for his
Absolutely.
mistakes. I just don't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And it's like, he's not going to be the first and he's not going to be the last. And like I said, you continue staying in marriage, you're going to see. Let me go ahead and play this right quick, guys.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
want to play this video right quick.
Stays out all night, turns into there's some other areas emotionally, spiritually, psychologically that we are affecting his behavior by what we do or what cooking techniques. And so but it was black women who were the most adamant, who refused to change meal planning techniques, seasoning food, cooking techniques. And so I said, it's interesting. I said, if we are refusing to provide the black man with the proper physical food when we know that food is what sustains life, then what else are we withholding from him? Possibly there's some other areas emotionally, spiritually, psychologically that we are affecting his behavior by what we do or what we withhold and refuse to give. And that led me to try to find out. We've always heard that the black man leaves the black family, abandons his woman and children, won't take care of the children, won't work, stays out all night, turns into a drunk, takes drugs. We've heard a lot of negative things. Most of them are true. But I wanted to find out what happens before he gets to that point. What leads up to the breakdown? We've never gone back to try to find out what happens in the relationship between the black man and a black woman that makes him go off and do all of these bad things. To assume that this is just normal, natural behavior for black men would be to assume that he is naturally bad. And I do not believe that the man that God gave to us as a mate is a naturally bad person. And so I wanted to try to examine what goes on with him. What's his side of the story?
Did
We've
a
never
black
examined.
man ask you to write this book?
Oh, no, no, no.
I want to go ahead and talk about that right quick.
Yes,
Nicole,
Yes, ma'am.
what you think? Your mic.
Let me turn it down. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Is that better for you?
Yeah. Do you think
Okay.
that some women they would make a man run out of the house?
Yes.
Just don't want to have nothing
Emasculation.
to do with them.
Because I've had even my ex-spouse tell me, and I've had my daughter's father tell me, and I told you about the mistake I made during the marriage. He and I dated in high school. My daughter's by him. My husband raised her as his own. And they always tell me, you're so feminine, your spirit, you have such a quiet spirit. It's not just about the appearance, I'm attracted to you, but you have a quiet, meek spirit. But my mom is just the opposite. And my grandmother, who I grew up around because my parents worked long hours, very demanding jobs. My grandmother was like that. So that's who I grew up around. So I feel like a lot of times, and my grandfather would tell me, men do that. It's a form of passive aggression. If they feel like the woman is openly emasculating them, then if they're not going to outright hit her to show their masculinity, they will hurt the woman indirectly, by staying out late, messing with other women, because they don't feel like they can exert their manhood at home. Not saying it's right, but it's just what men do, just like women, a lot of times, when we're upset, we go spend up the man's money. So I'm not saying it's healthy, but it does happen. I think that when you look at a certain type of woman, like my mom, highly aggressive, high achieving, want everything perfect. And I'm if you kind of read through what I'm saying, a lot of times those women are more masculine and they try to run the house and they don't give the man the opportunity to exert his masculinity. And then they wonder why the man steps out with somebody that's more, pliable, more gentle in spirit. That's just my opinion, lady. A lot of women nowadays would disagree with that.
I totally agree. What about you, Butterfly?
Oh,
Butterfly, are you
yes. I could use myself as example. I agree. Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you real good.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on. Okay. I was saying I could use myself as an example. I had to learn, and throughout my dating, because I'm a very what you call it, I have a lot of testosterone. I'm a headstrong type of woman. You know what I mean? And I did raise my kids by myself, so I was the head of my household. So when you have to be the head of your household, you kind of do lose your feminine traits. You know what I mean? And I was already kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Y'all help me out. Y'all know the word I'm looking for.
Assertive, and it's nothing wrong with that, because I was my husband didn't live with me all the time. I was a single
Yeah.
parent by choice, but I'm just saying it's all about how you're socialized, which a lot of people, my mom gets down on me all the time. Oh, if I was around more, you wouldn't be that type of woman. And I said, Mom, I used to judge women like you, but I admire women like that because to a certain extent, they know what they want. They go out there and they achieve it. My mom's a very high achiever, made a very good life for herself, very financially stable, lives in a beautiful neighborhood. I'm not like that. I'm more of a domestic, I like to cook, warm, nurturing type of mother, but a lot of times, as my grandfather would say, and my dad would say, you can't have two men in a house. So it's okay to be assertive, but when you're talking to a man a certain way and you continue to emasculate him to the point where he feels like he's got to deal with somebody on a long-term basis over and over again, you have to ask yourself, what am I doing as a woman to project? What am I projecting on this man to make him not want to be home? And sometimes men need to ask themselves the same question, like my spouse. You want to act all aggressive and, accuse people cheating and, try to, hit up on people. The woman don't want to be home either. So as I tell my children, it goes both ways. It's not just, oh, the woman has to acquiesce and give in all the time to make the man stay. And the man doesn't either. If you don't have both couples knowing exactly what each other wants, or they're not able to express verbally what's hurting them, you're going to have issues in the relationship. And you can't talk to a woman that won't give a man a chance to talk, or who tries to run everything.
So some people were saying, why Martell just didn't leave if he knew that he was not happy, so why just go ahead and cheat? So
I think he loved his wife. I mean,
and his
and he's going to try to work on the marriage. And we weren't there, so we don't know what he expressed to her that he wanted. He might have said, sometimes you may speak to me a certain way, or he expressed to her different things that he felt like he wanted, and he gave her a chance to do it. And if she came to the decision, look, I can't do A, B, C, and D, and he decided I can't put up with A, B, C, and D, they eventually split. But all couples, when you get married, you're going to want to work on the marriage. That's natural. Even though you may not be completely honest in regards to, I'm going to stop cheating, because you've developed a relationship with the other person. It's not right, but it does happen. I feel like if you can't come back together and it just be like it was in the beginning when it was you and me without the he or she, it's not going to work. But I don't fault them for trying to work on their marriage. I don't think a public platform was the place to do it. But I feel like it got worse because it was so visible for everyone to see, and they didn't do anything to keep anything concealed. So even if people knew there was, issues in the marriage, when you talk about people's bedroom activity and them pleasing you and that kind of thing, some things you need to keep out of a public platform. But that's just my opinion. It as we see, everybody, that might have been cathartic, or they might have felt like that was good for them to get it all out in the open publicly. Some people deal with their hurt like that. So, but I don't fault anybody for trying to work on their marriage. I just think it got to a point where, as people got their money right, as men say in Dallas, women get their money right and they start acting a little differently. Men do too. When men get,
Pepper said that Martell just
think, Martell personally
let me read
said,
hold on one second.
Martell
Pepper says that, hold on one second, Butterfly. Pepper says that Martell just messed up. They should not have created the show. Absolutely. I think all this right here, if they thought that the show was going to put them together, if anything, these people don't know the host from a can of paint. So getting everybody into your relationship, that was bound for a disaster. So I don't know why they didn't pitch that show. I think, just like I said, they already had checked out. They already went about their separate lives. All this right here was thinking that they could make money off it. And now you see the outcome. Like I said, at the end of the day, the only ones that's going to get hurt, and that's the children. Go
Is the
ahead, Butterfly.
children. Yeah. And people have to go to school with the stigma of, kids, they're not nice.
I believe he stayed. Yeah, I believe he stayed, and he said it for his children. He didn't want his children to grow up like he did and have an absentee father in the home.
I agree. I
And I
agree.
do
And
think
both
a
of them,
part of
I agree,
him
Classy T. She
loved
gave
his
him years
wife.
to change and they tried to work
Yeah.
on their marriage. There's nothing wrong with that. But at some point, even if the marriage doesn't work out, just based on that, my kids are adults. I'm not going to go around and disparage their dad over and or let other people do it, because I know at one point in time there was there was a marriage, there was a husband and wife connection. So even based on that, and my personal relationship with God, although I've made big mistakes and so has he, I don't want him to be disparaged that way. But that's just me. Some people that are angry and want to lash out, if they don't do it, they get their family members to do it or their friends to do it, or they go on social media and do it. That's not something that they don't feel, they don't feel uncomfortable doing that. Me, I do, because I don't want my kids to ever internalize that or be angry at me because I went around and talked about or let other people discuss their dad like that. But that's just me. Everybody's not the same.
Yeah, and Quinn Kane says, "Oh well, nobody has to continue to be disrespectful for the sake of the kids." But the
True.
thing about it is that Melody, she came and said that Martell never had disrespected her, always treated her like a queen, always brought flowers and pulled out the chair, and he never was abusive. But when
Did
we
say she
saw
did say that
all
she
the
didn't know
yeah,
at first.
yeah, but when we saw all the clips, it was the other way around. It's like she was the one she was the one that was abusive to him. I remember the scene. You remember at the Fletcher's home when she threw a
Yeah.
glass at him, and some people had said, I'm gonna say allegedly, they say after the
Before
cameras
that,
was turned
season one
off.
and in the house.
Yes. And they said after the cameras was turned off, it was worse. It was even worse. They
Wow.
tore up the Fletcher's home. And not only that, you remember, and I was upset with Carlos King. You remember the last reunion when Martell said, I'm not Martell, Melody said, that's why I beat your, you know what?
Yeah.
And Martell sat there and say, now you see, if it was a man of the other way around, you guys would have said, you would have had my head on the chalkboard. It's not his
But
exact
that
words.
changed my
But they never
perception even
talked.
then.
They never talked about that
They
afterwards.
never did.
They took
That
it
changed
and
my
they had
perception
swept it
even
under
then.
the rug. They never
It
talked
did.
about
Yeah.
that.
That's what I'm saying. If my perception was never changed, it was then.
So
But you have to look at a
Quinn
lot of people who
Ken,
follow her. They're aggressive.
yeah,
Her,
Quinn Ken,
your fans
I would say
would
that
say,
you would have to that's where Melanie's accountability came in, because she
I
stayed for
agree.
3 more years after the first 2 years of him cheating. So she's accountable for the mess that she was into, Quinn King. She didn't leave,
Not over
neither
here disrespecting
did
anyone.
she.
We're
No,
actually
she
we're over here
didn't.
stating that nobody should joke about somebody's parent being in a psychological facility.
Yes,
That's what we're
we got
saying.
Michelle. We got someone in house, Michelle Hardrick. How are you doing,
Good
Michelle?
evening,
I'm
ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing well, you beauties. I tell you, this conversation hits home.
Yes,
Absolutely,
ma'am.
absolutely,
It hits home. My heart really goes out to Melody and Martell and their kids. And again, as I
absolutely,
said in your chat, um, the kids are the one that suffer. Through it
absolutely,
all, they're the ones that suffering from all of this foolery that's going on publicly with Martell and Mel. My heart, and I'm quite sure all of us as women, our heart really went out to Mel in the beginning when we come to
Yeah.
learn how Martell hurt her, because we've all been there, you know.
absolutely.
But then down the line, we begin to see the other personality of Mel, which I'm not happy with, you know,
Either.
because again, you're hurting your children. You know what I'm saying? You're hurting your kids. You're hurting your
Absolutely.
kids. And my heart goes out to this whole situation, and I'm just speaking from my own experience,
Yeah.
losing my husband to suicide. He dealt with mental issues back then. He's a veteran. I'm
My
61.
condolences, ma'am.
Yes.
and to had found him because I'm retired from law enforcement. He and I had gone through a separation, but we were still communicating, for our children, trying to co-parent. You know what I'm saying? And when his mom had called me and told me that she had not talked to him in a few days, I immediately put my spidey senses on because over the years I had to put my husband in veteran hospital on a mental
Yes,
ward
ma'am.
because of his mental state. You know what I'm saying? And to go and find him, I found
Sorry.
him
So you found
and
him at
had
the
to
house?
come
It
back
happened at the
home.
house? It happened at the house?
No, he and I were separated. He had moved
Okay.
out and was in his own place, but we were still communicating, still trying
Yeah.
to work on our marriage, just like Martell and Mel. You know, when I started seeing things that I was not in agreement with that was going on in our household, I made that choice. I think it's best we separate until we can get through this time. I said, because this is not working for me. We were very young, just like Martell and Mel. They're a young
Right.
couple.
Yes, ma'am.
And having to find him like that, I had got off duty, went over to where he lived, and I found him there. I found
Wow.
my husband there. I
I'm
had to
so
come
sorry.
back home. I had to come back home and still being the police, having to share this information with my daughters was the worst day of my
Devastating.
entire life.
Yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry.
Devastating. So I'm hoping that Martell and Mel they both need to be in therapy
Yeah.
and bring some healing about to be able to help their little children because these babies are innocent and the public
Exactly.
is seeing this, and kids can be mean that they go to school with, saying things and taunting them about their parents because this ain't gonna go away.
Oh,
This
Absolutely.
is out in the
I've
public.
seen
You
where
know what I
kids
mean?
take their fingers and twirl it around their head, and your mom's this and your dad's that, or your
Exactly.
right. They took your dad
Exactly.
away in the crazy wagon. I've heard kids taunt about when people's parents go through certain things.
Absolutely.
It's and just like when my sister-in-law had gone to rehab, people teased her girls about that to the point where it hurt my eye. I mean, it just hurt my
Mm-hmm.
heart. I would try to keep from crying, and I would tell them, y'all hold y'all heads up, because they stayed with us. My husband's kind of like Bernie Mac. He took in both his nieces. We did at one point, so he
Yeah.
wasn't all bad, and we would tell him, you hold your head up, and your mom, at least your mom is going so she can get better. Other people's parents
Right.
stay in that mess. So thank God
Right.
that your parents are going to get better, but so we're not a perfect family. People in the family
Exactly.
made mistakes, but I do know how hurtful it is and the stigma kids have when their parents go to rehab or they go to the hospital or they go to jail. You see what I'm saying? That
Exactly.
kids talk about them.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And the thing of it is, at the end of the day, all of us are human beings. And that man, Martell,
Absolutely.
is still human because he made a
Exactly.
foolish choice to cheat on his wife. And who said that Mel didn't cheat? We don't know that.
That's it.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because sometimes people like to hide behind that mask. You know, we always want to try to look good. We don't want everybody to know who we really are.
That's
And
it.
Exactly.
we as critical thinkers are begin to see beyond who Mel really is, who she really is.
Mhm.
I
How
commend
would all
her.
this get leaked, ma'am? You're in law enforcement. How nobody's following these people around with a TMZ with a camera.
Exactly.
So I would
Exactly.
question how it got leaked because
Exactly.
if I didn't leak it, I would want to know who was leaking this stuff about my kid's father or my kid's mother.
Exactly. Because I
I'm
would
just
be
saying that's
offended.
me.
I would be offended to even know that. But seeing the personality that Mel is presenting to us, we can see why it wouldn't matter to her at this point.
Exactly.
Because I would be raised in hell to know that something like that got out in the public and everybody's talking about it. That's
Mhm.
And
wrong.
not necessarily in a positive way either. And they feel
Exactly.
justified in doing it. And I've never seen
Exactly.
this before because I'm not a social media type of person. I would thought
Yeah.
that everybody would be like, we're going to chill out for a minute, until this man gets better and, send our prayers out that the family can heal. No, you don't hear any of that. You hear Miss Lady D and Miss Michelle, you and Miss Butterfly, you hear these people
Mm-hmm.
saying he's doing it on purpose or he's doing it for a
Mm-hmm.
check. I couldn't believe it last night. I'm like,
That's the
and
part
these
that
women,
hurts.
Miss Lady, are older than us.
Yes,
And
that's
that
the part
just
that
broke
hurt.
my heart when I heard it on
He's doing
another
it for a check. Yeah,
CC's.
he's doing it for a
Yeah,
check.
on another CC's platform. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh no, this is going too far.
Ma'am.
When a person is pushed to that extreme, it's going too far. Even though I know him and Mel both with that back and forth, because couples do that because they done got pissed off, they mad and they bitter. We
Hmm.
get that. But to push this part, I mean, this man, he's tried to get contracts doing this, that, and the other. If she's doing what she's doing to provide for herself and her children, why interfere with what this man is trying to do too? You
Hmm.
know, why would you want to interfere with your kid's father trying to
Exactly.
provide for himself and his children? That
Right.
is the most craziest thing I've ever heard in my life, and it's
Exactly.
wrong. And
But
the
she's
reason
doing her
why all
best to
this is
connect
going
with the
on
dad.
because they lived
Nicole,
out this
mute your
they
mic. Nicole,
Yes,
mute
ma'am.
your mic.
All right.
and for them to be a part of this reality show and to put that kind of sensitive business out there for people to have a opportunity to spit venom and to be in their ear, and all of this stuff is going on. They these people are not even given a thought, not even a second thought about these babies at all.
Absolutely. You can go
And I
ahead,
and it,
Nicole.
and my heart goes out to Martell because Martell didn't have a male image to help him as a young man, because he still would need someone in his life to be in his
I
ear,
agree.
talk to him, and help this man get through. Same with
Absolutely.
with Melody. She's got encouragement from her mother. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But that man needs some help. There's a whole lot of layers to this whole situation. There's a whole lot
Exactly.
of layers to that. You know?
And I think, like I told my kids, anytime a man feels like they can't provide and they're
Hmm.
trying, they already feel a way anyway. Even the man that hasn't worked a lot and he sees his wife out there earning more, they feel a way about that. Even if the marriage isn't bad. And I've heard women on the other side say that as well. So just imagine if all your business opportunities that you've
Hmm.
tried to do just plummet. You feel bad
Exactly.
anyway. And then you constantly get berated on social media. And then you constantly have your ex spouse talking about how you can't provide food, even if it's true, whatever. Nobody needs to be embarrassed on a public platform like that, because if she was done like that, they would be doing 24-hour lives. I'm telling you.
But one thing I do commend Mel that she got her business going, and that's cool. Just like Stormy. Stormy got her business going. You know, why keep trying to tear each other down? One thing
Absolutely. That's
about me, I'm
toxic.
real big on mental health therapy. I'm an administrator for our Cleveland remembrance page about the different crimes that goes on here in Cleveland and what's going on, because I know the different areas and the atmospheres that's going on
Yes, ma'am.
every single day. You know what I'm posting? We got young black men, older men of all ages, committing suicide.
What? I
Absolutely.
didn't know it was that bad,
Commit
ma'am.
and young females committing. This is every day. If you guys will go on to our Cleveland Remembrance page, you
Yes,
will see
ma'am.
exactly the atmosphere here in Cleveland. You know, it's heartbreaking. And when I heard that last night, I'm like, I hope this young man haven't done that to himself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping if he's in the hospital, I hope he's getting the type of help that he
Yes,
needs to help
ma'am.
himself and to be able to get help his little kids, because his kids need their
They
dad.
need both parents, right?
Yes, they
Not just
do.
one parent. And they need both parents to be in a mentally healthy space and not display aggressive behavior. But I can say this, Lady D, during a custody battle, the judge asked for a psych evaluation
Hmm.
for each parent so they can basically determine the best environment for the kids. So it's not
Hmm.
just one evaluation over another, ma'am. It's both parents, they request one.
That's right. Because one thing I do remember, when when everything began to come out to the public, when they actually went through their divorcement, and she sat down with Martell to try to get him to consider doing family counseling, and he kept saying, "Oh no, I don't need it." But I hope this comes back to his remembrance. Hey, maybe this is probably something I actually need to do. Maybe if I can get myself healed, me and Mel can probably get on a better wavelength for our children, and get into some family counseling. Family counseling is very important.
Absolutely.
It's
But it's
important
not going to help if you sit up here and discuss things that you for a storyline
publicly.
that you discussed
Yep.
in family therapy.
Right.
You got to
Exactly.
work things out as a what I was told by professionals that you have to
Yeah.
work things out as a family. It's not for the public or the other family members or your friends or anybody to discuss publicly. If
Right.
your people's perceptions interfere with the actual result of the therapy. So it's good to do family therapy, but if you're going to go disparage and discuss things publicly when therapy
Exactly.
sessions are meant to be private, it's going to, basically contradict the outcome of the therapy. Therapy is there for everybody
Exactly.
to get healthy, not for you to go discuss and make fun of something that was said in therapy for a TV storyline.
Exactly. Because for me, I'm a breast cancer and liver cancer survivor,
Yes,
19
ma'am.
years.
I'm sorry about that.
And but I'm good because what I do, I give back. What I help other people that are being challenged with cancers, I've helped them through as well. But to say that, I do a health fair every year. Matter of fact, I have one coming up in August where I'm real big on mental therapy, and especially in our Black community, because people
Absolutely.
deem to have a thing thinking that mental health therapy deems them as being crazy. No, mental health therapy is part of your health. You pay for that every year, every month. That's part of your
Right.
health. You know, the old saying, free your mind. If you free your mind, your ASS will follow. That's a true statement. I make sure I see my therapist all the time.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
And,
helped
and can
me
you talk a little
sort
bit
out
more
some
about
things.
can you talk a little bit more about mental health, especially when it comes to the Black community, and why it's like a taboo to us where we don't want to go ahead and seek that type of help?
Oh yeah, because of the narrative that's always been put out there that if you go see a doctor, if you go see a doctor or go see a psychiatrist or whatever that, and they put you on medication, that makes you crazy. Mental illness is real. That's just like having diabetes. Some people are born with mental illness.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Do they
ma'am.
have to be treated for it? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But the thing about it, when life is lifing, and you have stressors in your life. And I had to come to that conclusion going through breast cancer, being retired from this police department, the stress that I was under, being a single mom. And thank God for my mom and dad and my brothers that stepped in to help me during that time in my life when I lost my husband. You understand what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am. Yes,
Over
ma'am.
the years, trying to deal with everybody else out here, being the lifesaver to everybody else here on the streets, and then coming home to deal with my own personal stuff. That's a lot on you. And it began to not only affect me mentally but emotionally, and then my body began to break down.
So sorry. Right.
My body began to break down. You know, stress does bring about all kind of illnesses. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really big on mental health therapy, and God has given us these professionals. He says in his word, he says, if you are sick, seek a doctor.
Hmm.
That's what he told us. That's the book of Luke is about, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, seek a doctor. And when I began to go to therapy, I began to view life differently, and even begin to see life differently through God's eyes for me, and how I needed to be able to heal, not just physically but emotionally and mentally and spiritually. I
I know
began
the
to
courts
heal.
helped us as a family. I mean, from going to where we couldn't even be around each other without yelling and saying all
Hmm.
kinds of stuff in front of kids, with the mediator and actually going to the family therapy where the courts helped us and not discussing it with outsiders, even our parents. It really helped us get on a better page after that.
I'm
And the
glad to hear
kids
that for
weren't
you all.
depressed. Their anxiety wasn't up. They weren't scared to say one thing about what the other parent said about the other, like, mom, why you say this about my dad, or dad, why are you talking to mom like that?
Hmm.
So it helped us. We did have grievances with each other. We would discuss that privately, and we wouldn't talk about
Right.
him to anyone else either. So family therapy does help. I agree. It really
And
changed
individual therapy, because
everything.
I'm speaking from my own experience. You know, there was so many things that was going on with me that I didn't think was going on with me, because again, I'm out here taking care of a whole entire city, trying to save people, and then I have to come home and take care of my own personal stuff. I mean, that job was very demanding. That's just like being in the military. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
How many of my brothers and sisters in blue have ate their gun due to stress?
God, are you serious? I'm sorry
I'm
about that.
dead serious.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And then to hear that, I mean, you see that you got to go. You find someone that done took their life and have to go home and tell their loved one. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would ever have to come home and be able to tell that information to my own babies. Will
exactly.
we
I'm so
have to go and
sorry.
knock on the door and say, "Ma'am, I have to share this with you. I found your loved one, and this is what we found." You know how that takes a toll on us, but we supposed to be like robots and not feel no kind of way. No, we are human. We all are human, and I just pray to God that Mel and Martell come to a place of forgiveness for
Exactly.
each other.
For
You
each
know,
other.
because it
Yes.
takes two to tango. Martell ain't in this all by himself. Mel is not an angel, and I
Absolutely.
wouldn't believe that this girl is so perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Well, they think she is. If you ask them to say one thing that she's done wrong, they can't come up with anything. She's the only perfect person that graces the planet Earth. You see what I'm saying? So they will attack you, call you names, leave nasty comments, do 24-hour lives about what you said, making it content. But somebody's mental illness is not content if you're and you have compassion in you.
And let me express this: when I was listening on the commentary on another CC's channel last night, they made mention of how these same people were accusing Kimmy of being faking her breast cancer. When I
Yes,
say
I
I was
heard that,
livid,
Lady D. I forgot to
I
tell you
was
that this lady did.
livid.
Mute
Yes,
your mic. Mute your mic,
they've been
Nicole.
accusing her.
Nicole, mute your mic.
And
Yes,
to
ma'am.
know and to spit that type of venom on that woman, and I'm speaking again from my own experience, had to go the whole 9 yards. I had to go chemo, had both breasts removed because the type of breast cancer, because there's 15 types of breast cancer. I had to go through chemo. I had to go through bilateral mastectomy, that I had both my breasts removed, and go through a whole year of another type of chemo, fighting for my life. I still fight every single day. And to accuse Kimmy like that, then the type of breast cancer she had is the worst one anyone could be wouldn't want to have, because she had the triple negative. And black women don't usually survive that type of breast cancer. It's
Wow.
hard. That's the toughest one to treat, and that's the one that Kimmy had. Shame on them for who put that out there about that woman.
Yes, ma'am. All of them been saying
I
that, Miss
hate it
Lady
when they
D.
did that. I hate it when that happened, especially when they called Maurice cancer hunter.
Hmm.
That was just below the
Sick.
gut. That
And
was
then the
too
way
much.
her body was responding to chemo, and then she's in this
Yeah.
marriage. I know what that feels like. I've been there, and those things that she was expressing are true. You don't have that where you dealing with losing your hair, which we know that we're not our hair, neither are we our breasts. You know what I'm saying? But God has given us doctors to help us get through these times in our lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got me new breasts. I got a whole new shape, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful to still
Already.
be here. You know what I'm saying? Because that takes a toll on the self-esteem and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I commend Kimmy that she made it through. I lost three of my first cousins because it runs rampant on my dad's side of the family. Three of my first cousins with triple negative breast cancer. And I lost two of my aunts to breast cancer. I lost my mother
My
to
condolences.
colon cancer. Colon cancer and breast cancer goes hand in hand, just like for men.
That was horrible when I heard she. And then the thing about it,
That was
she
the
didn't have
worst thing.
really
I
much.
was so angry.
Yeah,
I
me
couldn't even
too.
sleep last
Yeah,
night to
I
know that
think
somebody put that out on that woman
I
like that.
personally feel like what yeah.
Go ahead, butterfly.
Yeah, I just think it's just vile, to this to and I commend Kimmy for sharing her story because a lot of
Absolutely.
women suffer in silence.
Exactly. They sure do,
We still
butterfly.
talk about mental health awareness, right? A lot of women suffer in silence, and what her and Maurice was going through is an actual factual scenario that a lot of couples, married
Yep.
couples, do your research. There's couples that have broken up that have. I'll give you an example. Remember
Girl.
Kiki Wyatt, that singer?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Remember her divorcing her husband, and hold up now, she wasn't even the one that was sick. It was the kid that was sick. With
Right.
Kimmy sharing her story is what a lot of women facing cancer who are married are going through. So for them to try to say that Kimmy, nobody wants to hear this and da 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 da, no, because y'all thrive on drama.
That's evil, and
Y'all
that's the
thrive on
most evil,
drama and being nasty and being shady. That's
and
why y'all
that's
didn't
an
want to hear
evil
it.
thing.
That is an
That's an
actual
evil thing
storyline.
to say. That's an evil thing to say from the pit of hell. Because you know why I say that? I have a group that I mentor women that are men and women, because men get breast cancer too. They get it too. I had a lot of my supervisors, my superior officers on their job, men that passed away from breast cancer. But I mentor women who I get phone calls from, because I do a fundraiser to help those that are going through chemo and can't work because of the side effects of the treatment. We try to raise money to help them with some of their utility bills or rent, or some of their for medications and things like that. I do a pink pancake breakfast every year to raise money to help those that are trying to get through. But I get phone calls from women crying, "Ma'am, I need help. My husband just walked away from me because I was diagnosed with this disease." Or my husband couldn't handle that, and that's why I'm real big. I try to encourage men and women that go through or facing cancers, not just breast cancer, to seek mental therapy to help them get through this. I'm
Agree.
real big on that. I'm real big on that. When I do my health expos like that, I always have a mental health therapist there to share the benefits of getting mental health therapy. You know, it's ridiculous. When I heard that about Kimmy, and I'm like, are you serious? These people are that evil
That evil.
to even spit that kind of venom on that woman like that, and to know that Kimmy fight every day. When I wake up every day, what's in the back of my mind is this evil disease going to come back, even though it's 19 years, because it can come back on you with a vengeance. And to say that about that woman,
That was evil. That was evil. At first, I thought, I was like, maybe, they heard it from somewhere, but they were actually accusing her of doing it for a storyline. I'm like, who does that?
and I
Why would
tell you
she?
this, let one of them end up being diagnosed, because a woman is diagnosed every 5 minutes with breast cancer. Let one of them end up, and I don't wish that on anyone, but let one of them to have been diagnosed like that, and let them have go ahead and speak that out of their mouth then. Now what? It's wrong and it's evil. All the stuff that's going on, especially with our people, to be this
Right.
divided like that. To be this divided over a reality
Yeah.
show. This
Over
this is
somebody
this
that
is
none of
sad.
us was married to. You would have think Martell slept with all of them and the father of all their kids, the way they going on.
Exactly.
Right.
But I send my prayers out to him. I hope he gets restored wherever he is, so he
Right.
can be the best parent he can be. How he does it, or when he does it, or where he does it, should not have been leaked. But I do, any parent that is in that situation, I do send my condolences, and I will pray that Mr. Holt does thrive and get better, so he can be the best parent he can be, outside of all the other stuff, because nobody's perfect and
That's right.
nobody has the right to judge what happened. But the marriage is over. So to even comment and talk about it at this point is pointless. That's what Miss Marcella was
Exactly.
saying last night. We need to pray that, from this point on, he can get better so he can be the best father that he can be.
And
Period.
I just hope an older man, a mature older man that has wisdom, to grab Martell by the hand, hug that young man, and say, "Let's have a conversation, young man. Let's talk. Let's talk." Because I'm quite sure like he said, he didn't have a father in his life, and he had to be like this, the father of his household. Like he said, his mom worked all the time, so he was left to look out for his brothers. You know what I'm saying, and himself. And I know his mom probably tried to do the best that she could by her sons. You know what I'm saying? And she probably was the kind of woman like, hey, look, I got to have my life too, but I just hope someone can step in and grab that young brother by the hand, because he's still young and
Absolutely.
needs some wisdom to be imputed in him. You know what I'm saying? I remember men back in our communities when young men were fatherless like that. My dad was one. I'm a PK kid. My father and a few other men in our community, when other young men didn't have a father in the household, they stepped in and taught them skills. They talked with them. They basically kind of raised the young men in our communities. You know what I'm saying? I still see my brothers in my community that I grew up with and say, what, Michelle, thank you and your brothers for sharing your dad with me. I really miss Mr. Hardnick. I really miss him. You know what I mean? I wish we had more strong men. Our men is our strongest link.
Absolutely.
And we keep losing them to either gun violence, to the hands of the police, these racist police officers out here. We losing our men. We need our men.
That's it.
We had strong men in our community that stepped to the plate on our behalf to protect us. You know what I mean?
Kids need both parents, not just one. They need
exactly.
both.
They need them both. Absolutely.
And when it comes to social media, it looks like social media is not helping, especially when it comes to the black man. It's like they are very hard. It's like they wants to see division. But all this right here, it's just something is behind this that's pulling the strings.
Exactly, Miss Lady.
And I would like to see all of our people win. I want to see Mel win. I want to see Martell win. I want to see the Scots win. I mean, these are young black entrepreneurs. I would like to see them all win. Stormy win. Even Destiny. I want to see Destiny. I want to see these young people be lifted. You know what I'm saying? And that they can come together and show what it is, what black excellence is. Really could be. Instead of being on social media tearing each other down and this and that, that. I mean, all that. I mean, there's name calling and belittling each other. I am heartbroken.
Too.
I am totally heartbroken. Then you got these CCs on here, not making it even making it worse. Tearing each other down like that. Shame on them. Shame on all of them.
So let's go ahead and talk about that. Why are we so hard when it comes to black entrepreneurs, and why we are so quick to tear each other down instead of coming together, and work together? Because just like with the show Love and Marriage in Huntsville, I think that all of them, coming together and building and doing what they should do, it would be great. But why we hate to see our own people coming together and build? Well,
it's that Jim Crow mentality.
That's it. Let's talk a bit about that, when it comes to black entrepreneurs and how we are quick to tear it down.
It's that Jim Crow mentality, division.
Let's say the divisiveness. Yep. You have fans that pit and subscribers that pitted the content creators against each other. And you have fans, because of drama, they wanted to pit the cast members at each other. When they saw that there was a level of enmity there, people played on it. And then you had one person that kind of trauma bonded with everyone that had been through a similar situation, and they uplifted that individual because they shared their personal experience with the crowd. And you had a lot of women that flocked to that situation because they could identify with it. Right. But to be negative and to lash out at other people and have, how can I say this? At one of the reunions, you tried to get another individual to come on the show to say that they were cheating with another cast member's husband was low down. And I was done after that. That, I mean, regardless of how you feel, if you like or dislike someone, to do that and to have nobody really, judge you differently after that just seemed a little sick to me, because one person's marriage isn't the other person's marriage. And to try to come in between that, to me, it was like my favorite member said, you have a dark soul.
That is dark. Very dark. And it's malicious. This malicious behavior of our people. And I'll say our people because they are, it's sad. It's sad to just tear each other down like that. And all they and white folks are sitting right back laughing at us. Laughing.
Right. Right. That's what they do.
It was
You
a
know.
time when we as a people stuck together, we had unity. This is where I come from. I remember having unity, not only just in the household, but in our communities. We had unity.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
had unity. And it just breaks my heart. It just
Absolutely.
breaks, it really does. It breaks my heart.
It's
And not only
heartbreaking.
just Love and Marriage Huntsville, that's on all of these different reality shows. They
Yes,
need to get
ma'am.
that off of TV. It needs to come off
Mhm.
of TV.
But the
No.
fans is not so involved in other reality shows like they are with Love and Marriage in Huntsville. They are very involved in this show right here. And the thing about it is the all
Credit
black
reports,
ensemble group
telling where you
and black
live,
executives and everyone.
criminal backgrounds. What does that have to do with the show's
Yes.
content? I still am not really understanding that. And people are like, well, they're presenting themselves one way, but they're not. Okay, so don't watch it. But to tear down
Mm-hmm.
people who do nothing to you, nothing.
Mm-hmm. And I sure
It's
hope
just
that Kiki can get her life in order. I hope Kiki can get her life in order. I mean, because these are not dumb young black people. They're not dumb. They just being ignorant at this point. You
Mhm.
know, I hope Kiki can get her life healed and get and whatever she's doing to get clear of the drugs. I hope that young lady can do that. You know,
Me too.
again, the kids is the ones that suffer. They're our future.
That's it.
nothing.
But I
Well, let
think
me.
when it comes to Kiki, I think that Melody, she also played a major part in that as well because Kiki, she has a story, but she couldn't be able
Mm-hmm.
to tell a story because she came in with all that BS.
And she was too busy getting drug tested on camera, which I thought was
Yeah.
just humiliating.
Right.
Very exploitative.
Exactly. I would have never asked a friend that I care about to do something publicly on camera. No.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But because of how foolish Kiki is, she went along with it.
Mhm.
To
Well, she
go
just
along
wanted to
with that.
go. She wanted to get on the show because I guess she figured, look, I can't get through with Tisha, but see, Tisha knew the reason why she didn't want to Kiki on the show because she was going through this addiction. So she wanted
Right.
her to get, straight. But Melody, she didn't care. All Melody she was looking for is a storyline.
It backfired because that
It
same
did.
individual asked the content creator for $100. So,
Hmm.
which I know if I was a family member, that would kind of, embarrass me. But again, she didn't screen well in that case. I don't know what Kiki would have done because, according to what other content creators said, she wasn't a working person at that time and she didn't have her own business. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what other reason was she brought on there for? See, people don't ask themselves that question when they uplift individuals. If she's not an entrepreneur and she's not working, why would she need to be on the show?
Right. Right. My heart goes out to Kiki. You
Yes.
know, even in spite of her foolishness, my heart goes out to Kiki. It really does. You know, and I hope that
Right.
young lady can get herself clean. And I
Uh-huh.
would be up supportive to Kiki. You know, again, mental issues. You know what I'm saying? Because drugs, and alcohol will distort your mental thinking. It does.
Yeah.
It interrupts that.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
And it keeps a person in bondage. But when you got people that still want to continue, like you said, taunt a person because of what their history has been, that's been a person right back into, if they're not strong enough, right back into the lion's den.
But we
Really?
see what happened in this case. Like I said, everything Mr. Holt tried to do, you had people calling, I guess about his suit line. You had people calling about that. He was asked to speak on a panel. There were emails. They were inundated with emails about why they had him on that. And these people really think affecting his ability to earn an income for his kids is the right thing to do. Well, how are you going to
Mm-hmm.
talk about somebody being this way and that way and not providing for their kids
Mm.
like a content creator did today, but you want to be obscure and block his ability to support his children in the other
Right.
direction.
And
So
one
that
last
would
thing.
make anybody break.
Yeah, and I just
Diabolical.
hope that.
Like I said earlier, that's how diabolical they are. That is very
Right.
diabolical.
But it's
They knew
like,
what they
I
was
love
doing.
you. You my
They
girl.
knew what they was doing. They was hoping. Yes, his ex-wife was hoping that it went the way that it was going for him. She
Yeah.
wanted to break him down.
I agree
She
with you.
wanted to break him down.
Her leaving
They're
and to
diabolical.
staying with that girl.
That's diabolical.
I agree, Butterfly.
Oh, you ain't making no money. Oh, let me call. Oh, you got a job. Oh, let me call and make sure you don't got a job no more.
Right.
And knowing you got kids to support. I mean, that's dumb. Dumb. Why would you go and interfere with somebody that needs to provide for their kids? You know what I'm saying? Why would
So
you
they
do
couldn't,
that?
so the other child couldn't benefit. The child that has a different mother couldn't benefit. If you're
Right. And
just
that and that
one
and
track
that baby is
minded,
just as innocent as the other four
right.
children.
That's
That
my
baby
whole
is just
point.
as innocent.
Right. But when you're so into wanting to punish the other individual that you feel slighted you or did you wrong, you don't really care about what it looks like. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because anybody else would say, look, I know you guys feel this way. You had a whole platform where you had Carlos there with you, and I guess it was some kind of event. You're going to say, look, guys, I know you feel this way, and I appreciate your outrage, but, let's let both parents be able to work and support our kids. But thank you for feeling the way you do. But,
Right.
let's back off a little bit, but it was all about, I want that person off the show. He needs to be off the show. Well, how's he going to provide for his children if he's off the show?
Exactly.
Showed
Exactly.
me, Butterfly, that she was being vengeful. So
And like I
agree
say, the
with you
behavior
saying
of both
that,
of them was
Butterfly.
very immature. Her and
I
Martell, I could take a belt and whip both of them for behaving that way with each other on a public forum like
Yes,
that.
Yeah.
ma'am.
You know,
Ma'am, I
it just
agree.
make me cringe every time I think about it. Now here we don't know for sure if this young man I mean, what his state of mind is, and I hope to God that he can come back from that, because a lot of people don't come back from a mental breakdown
Exactly.
like
But
that.
look how one person I admire, Miss Lady D and panel, is Destiny. They dogged her out so badly. They
Yes.
really and Destiny still standing. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about how this closed and that closed, and different things about her, brought out her divorce decree and
And they
all
still
that.
dogging her out.
Right. She's still standing though. Whether
Uh-huh.
you like her or not, she's still standing,
Oh,
doing her.
they still dogging her out because they found out she's coming back on the show. Yep.
It's sad.
Yeah, and again, we didn't like the way things happened. We were hurt for Mel. We all as women, we really did. We hurt for Mel,
Mhm.
but there's always two sides to the story, and the truth of the matter. How about
Ex-
that? And the
Exactly.
truth is beginning to come out on the other side
You
of
notice how,
who is.
and you know that, right, right. Because don't forget, they not only harassed and bothered Shanita Foster, they harassed and bothered that other chick too, had her canceling gigs
Sharnita, allegedly.
because they
Mhm.
felt some type of way about Dr. Heavenly. They didn't show, yeah, they both Shanitas. They both they didn't show and prove the people that's supposed to be on her team.
Yeah, that would trip
That's how
me out. I understand that.
diabolical and freaking deranged they are.
They acting like a bunch of 10 and 12-year-olds. Nah,
You
because
can't
you
just
friends
keep, we
with that
can't,
person. These are grown people. People are allowed to befriend whoever they choose to. Really, how you gonna dictate to who I can be a friend to or who I talk to? Really?
Absolutely.
But if you have somebody saying, and I'm just going to be really transparent, Miss Lady D, but I'm going to do it in a nice way. If you have somebody saying, if you support me, don't go over there and go self-report and call this person's job. I mean, that showed me everything right there. You're able
Exactly.
to have the ability over a collective to influence. They're like, oh, she don't have no control over them. It's not her
Yes, she
fault.
do.
But you just did when you sat up there and told those people to, if you
Exactly.
support me, don't go over there. But
Exactly.
something we can all self-report and call his job since he works with kids. I watched it with my own two
And it's
eyes.
called torrance interference. That's what it's called. Torrance interference. You interfering with this person's livelihood. Really? Just like what they're doing with Stormy. That's that woman's livelihood. She have a right to support herself, her husband, and her son. Really? Come
I
on.
wonder. I wonder, do they have a psychiatrist on deck when it comes to these reality shows? Because this is really, this is really serious. Because these people are putting their lives out, and to them, it's like they getting paid, but the fans look at it as if these people, showing their real life. Most of it, is some of it's script. Maybe small percentage is their real life. But I wonder if they have a psychiatrist
You're
on
not
deck. You
real
think they
life.
have a psychiatrist on deck? You can hear me?
Yes,
Ca-
ma'am.
You think that they have a psychiatrist on deck? Because this is a lot, especially when it comes to these
I
reality
don't.
shows.
Carlos says they do, but I don't think they do. Well, remember they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
the
Remember,
black
what was his
male
name? Dr.
doctor,
Francis. I
Dr.
wonder what
Francis.
happened to him because I believe they probably was utilizing Dr. Francis. Yes.
Hmm.
He was really good. He was a nice guy. He really was a nice guy. But like I
Yeah.
said, like at this point, when you have somebody in crisis, it's nothing to play about. And if it was the other,
Mm-hmm.
and those things were said about somebody else on the show, they would have, and they would be outraged. Like I said, they would be on live 24/7 about why are you saying this and why are you saying that. But if I'm just saying, if I'm a critical thinker and I have the ability to analyze things, when people, oh, it's not her fault, it's not this person's fault that the fans are doing A, B, C, and D. If you can clearly influence a whole collective to not support someone, he stated it that he lost thousands of subscribers and his job was called to the point where
Hmm.
this young man had to go file suit. And Lady D, I'm being honest, he said, and Kiki verified that, well, Kiki brought it out that this young gentleman, content creator, had confided in Kiki's mother that he wanted to do the same thing. He wanted to attempt to delete himself behind these people.
And then he did. And you know why I say that? Because I was one of the people that he reached out to, trying to talk him through it,
Yes,
out of
ma'am.
that. Okay? I'm very
Sorry.
close to that content creator that you're talking to. I love him like my little nephew.
Yes, ma'am. Oh my God, I'm about to cry. And he's such a nice guy, and I think he got a lot of jealousy because he had the largest platform, right? And I'm be honest, Miss Michelle, at first, I'm going based on what everybody said. I always said when he comes back out and he does an open panel, I was gonna apologize to him. So I was very jaded at first. But as I started watching him and seeing what he was going through and what the other women on the panel were saying about how they were getting judged based on how they felt, I felt bad. To hear him say that, he really was at that low point, Lady D, and they still talk about him to this day.
And just like when I see that he's young, very young. And
Very
when I
smart.
see things that are being that is not it's going in the direction that I'm not in agreement with, don't think because they call us the aunties, we're those aunties that go up one side of his head and down the other.
That's what he said too. He was like,
Yeah, yeah. I
everything.
talked to him this morning. I talk to him every single day, and reason being, I tell my nephew, you call me every day so I can hear your voice because of the mindsets of people. We don't know who's there in the area where he lives. They can walk up on him
Yeah.
because of the hatred that they have for him.
Well, you know what, Miss Michelle, tell him that Miss Nicole, you know, sent my apologies. The public did manipulate people's perception about him, but when you do watch him and watch the people around him, I admire what he's doing. I hope his suit for emotional distress, because
Mm-hmm.
verified from Kiki, who said that it was not made up. It's on video, and I hope he sues through the nose for emotional distress because they've taken him through so much. If you don't like someone, don't watch them, but don't put batteries in people's back to call their jobs and stuff. But yet when
Right,
Yeah.
somebody doesn't like your product, you want to scream at them online about their lying.
right,
Yeah, I heard that.
exactly.
Yes.
Because I mean,
So
I know for entertainment, I know a lot of them get online and they just be messy boots. We know that, you know what I'm saying. But when it comes to this, that kind of stuff, no, no, no. We like I said, us aunties,
Right.
because we come from the old school and we speak to him from a place of experience. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Been there and did all of that. You know what I mean?
The
No, don't you put that out there. don't you do this. And if you do it, this is what's going to come back on you, you know?
Is he doing okay? Because I know he took a break. He's been dropping very informative audio. Is he doing okay?
Oh, he's doing well. He's doing well. He's taken the wisdom that we all and advice that we have been giving him to do
Yeah.
some other things because he's very
Mute your mic,
talented.
Nicole. A Starbucks saying the mic sounds very, very bad in the background.
Yeah, he's very talented, I mean, he's got a lot. Let me say this: my nephew was established way before Love and Marriage Huntsville. Trust me on that one. Very well connected to the industry, very well connected.
Yes.
So he didn't really need anybody else to be in anybody else's circle. I know what his circle consists of. And it ain't
Yes.
just him being a CC content creator sitting up here, you know, saying that I'm this and that. No, he is about what he said he is. I know that because I hung out with him down there where he lived at.
Yes.
I know him personally. Okay. Very well established. You know, he's doing well. He's very well financially established. His
Yes.
pockets his pockets is pretty deep. So let me clear
I
that.
see my girl in the house finally. Logical speech. She says hello. Okay, my sound. That's my girl right there. Logical speak. She said hello, everyone.
I do.
I love her.
And
Logic.
even Marcella,
Marcella.
Marcella is a sweetheart. I mean,
She
when I
is.
say what she say, what she do what she do. Can my sis be a little messy at times, and she's gotten better, and I'm so proud of her.
Yes.
Yes.
But when I say she about her business, what she
Yeah.
does within the community, and Marcella has a big heart. She helps whoever she can. Trust me on that one.
Yeah.
Lady D, people who
Huh?
contact her and say they need help, she's helped them out a lot of times. And that's
Yep.
even before she was in this sector. When she was on All About the Tea, she was always helping somebody.
Right.
Oh, hey, I seen you over there, right? Watching him because I watch him lately. You know, a lot of content creators like, oh, don't watch him. This when I started watching him, I was very touched by his spirit and the aunts he has around him. You know, I was very touched, and like I said, everybody over there is so intelligent. I mean, but he's receipt after receipt, Miss Lady D, and showing how ugly these people really are, and he outed the fact that I wasn't wrong that people were giving him information.
And they
It
were.
wasn't just one person. Everybody was feeding him information at one point.
And see, this is why we as the aunties, the aunties, and I'm one of them, we stay in his ear. Be mindful of what conversations you're drawn into and what you choosing to listen to. We tell him this all the time. Be very careful.
Right. Because
Absolutely.
And be mindful and use your wisdom and things that, you know, that are we hear about. We tell him, hey, look, this is what you don't do. Don't you do that.
Yes.
I
people
said,
were
don't let me have to do a drive-by
right.
and pull up on you. Don't you do it. Don't you dare do it.
Well, I hope his suit, he claims, and I believe him. He said he's got very established evidence and he is very confident that he's going to come out on the other side about that suit where, you know, people were directed to call his job and to pass information. So he said it's progressing very well on one of his lives he did last week, I believe.
And let me say this, when all that hit the fan like that, he really was trying to pull Mel's coattail to let her know, hey, just be mindful. You know, he really was. You know, he showed us the receipts of the email and everything. He really was trying to pull a coattail. You know.
Yeah.
That who you think
like
is your friend is not your friend. And he basically, because he thought that they were building a friendship, you know, and he really was just trying to pull a coattail. Hey, listen, just take heed to this. Just make sure that you keep your eyes open because this ain't what you think it is. Yes. And then for her to come out instead of just being mature enough and just say, hey, listen, let's have a conversation so I can get an understanding of what it is that you sent me. Let's talk about it. That's what mature people do, you know?
Absolutely. Well, look, this was a good conversation, guys. We've been on for 2 hours. I might come back on at 6. I would like you all to come back, and also Logical Speak, Starbucks. I would like you guys to come on the panel as well. Let's go ahead and give a little rest. We're gonna make sure that we check out mics, make sure everything is okay. Okay, Nicole,
And
get
I'm gonna
everything together.
turn my phone. I promise. I'm so sorry
Yes,
for
yes, yes.
my.
So
But
we can make
ladies, you
sure.
all are such a blessing. I love
Thank
real
you. And
conversation, and you all are
absolutely,
just wonderful. And I appreciate you all's transparency,
yes,
and
yes.
with the millimeters, I love them. I love them ladies too, and I'm quite sure it, they just not where we are at this point,
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
I just hate as we as women, black women, we come together as a collective and be supportive of one another. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I will support male business.
Absolutely.
I definitely would.
Yes.
Every last one of them, the Scots and all of them, I will
Yes.
support them. I'm big on supporting our people.
Me
You know.
too. I want to see that. I want to see, and I also want to talk a little bit
Yeah.
more about mental health again. I'm gonna see if I could come on around about 6 o'clock. And I also would like to have you back, Michelle, because your testimony, I mean, your testimony was very awesome, and I give, my condolences to you and your family because
I
I would like to
appreciate
know
that.
more, especially when it comes to mental health. And I don't think that this is something to poke fun of, because this right
Absolutely.
here, this is serious. I don't care how you don't like a person. Still of all, this is a man that has children and he has a family. And at the end of the day, we looking from the inside out. We don't know really what's going on. So to sit there and poke fun of someone else's demise, that just shows a lot about yourself. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. So
yeah,
many blessings to you, ladies.
absolutely.
And if I
I'm
know of a one of the therapists that I know personally, I would like to invite her to come on. So therefore,
Yes.
we can have a conversation with a
Mute your mic,
professional.
Nicole, mute your mic. Okay.
A young black female therapist that I personally know. If I can get a hold of her, I would love to invite her to come on so we can
yes.
do the Q&A with a professional that has her own practice.
I would love that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just rest a little while, and I'm gonna start up another live at 6 o'clock, and we can come back on and we could talk more about this because I think that this is it because our people, like I said, it's doing a little too much, especially when it comes to
Hmm.
these reality shows and these people personalized. These people have a life just like everybody else, and to come on and sit there and really torture. That's what you're doing, torture and sabotaging black businesses. It's just sad. This is what I call an all-time low.
Right,
So
right.
Pastor,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead
And
and
the
go
thing of
ahead.
it is,
Hmm.
not we should never hate the individual, hate the behavior.
That's it.
Just like the behavior, but
That's
not
it.
to allow it to take you to push a person over the edge like that. No.
And also, Angelo, I think we should get bypass he was cheating because these people have been divorced for how long? Maybe about 3 or 4 years. It's time for us to let it go. It's like beating an old dead horse. We don't even want to know anything about he's cheating. It's over with, it's done, he did it. And what else you could do about it?
Right,
You can't bleed him out. it's
right.
it's over with. So now we can talk about how to move forward. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm gonna see if I can come on and make another live. We're going to talk about mental health issues and how to move forward. Because we can't keep reminiscing over the past. Okay.
So hopefully I'm able to come back on at 6. My oldest granddaughter turned
Okay.
19 today. I had 10 grandbabies from
All
25
right.
to 6. Okay.
Okay. All right.
But
So
if I don't
you
catch
are
you, I'll
welcome
catch a replay.
anytime.
I
Yes.
appreciate that, Lady D. I appreciate you, ladies, and you all just be blessed today, okay?
All right. Be blessed here.
All right. Okay,
All
bye
right.
bye.
Butterfly, go ahead and give your channel again, and we're gonna go ahead and close it out.
All right.
Are you there?
Oh,
Go
yep,
ahead and give
guys.
your
It's
channel.
Butterfly BUTC. Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, love.
Okay. It's Butterfly BUTTERFLII underscore capital OR and the number one.
Okay, love. Thank you here. Thank you for
Yes.
being a part of my
Thank
life.
you,
I
Lady
might come
D,
on
for
around about
allowing me up once again. I really enjoyed
you
the
welcome
show.
anytime. You are welcome anytime, love. Anytime.
Okay. I'm going to drop down. Thank
All right,
you.
guy. So, got okay. So, thank you, Nicole Givens. Thank you, Butterfly. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you guys for coming in. All my mods, Country Girl, Starbucks, Bertha, thank you all for coming in. I mean, so many people, Pepper, everybody, if I don't call your name out, charge it to my heart. Thank you for coming in and supporting this channel, Real Talk with your girl, Lady D. Like I sit there and say, I try to open up, a platform so grown folks can talk, and we are not here to tear down. And if we do tear down, we're going to build it back up. But this right here, when it comes to these reality shows, like I said, I take the foolish things to conform the wise, and we have to learn how to separate. We have to separate the reality from this entertainment, and all this right here, it have gone a little too far. So I might come on tonight at 6 o'clock, and we're going to talk more about mental illness. It's nothing to play about, especially when it comes to the Black community. So guys, on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and close it down, get me some little rest, and you all be blessed. Enjoy the rest of your day. What Angela say? Okay, guys, talk to you later. Thank you, Lodge, for coming in.